starting to lose it on me, man. That's sad. That's very sad because this tripod, I feel like I worked extra hard to try to find a really good one. For it to still, kind of fail on me is a little sad. But why does my face look so greasy? It doesn't really matter. The one thing that sucks is this wobbliness. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. I need a flat chair here. Yo, what up, what up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Monitor tonight, bro? Stop. You're not here. Don't talk to me until you're here, to be honest. Is the moon landing real? Sorry, we're doing this. Is the moon landing real? Yes or no? Damn, I see how it is. That is how it is. Nah, that is how it is, bro. Yo, Jackson, hi. JK was a prank. Hey, Jake, what's good? What's good? Welcome, welcome. Welcome. What's up? What up? Welcome to the stream, everyone. Wow, today was just not a great day. Not proud of it. Man enough to say it. Today was not a great day. I was super lazy. I mean, I basically slept all day. I'm going to tell Brayden. How about you tell Brayden to come back here when you come back here and we actually, all go out. You know what I mean? So I don't just sit here like a lazy bum. You know what I mean? What's up, what's up? Thank you for the gifts. That sucks. Sorry, man. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's not like, it's not like a pity party or anything. It's more of a acknowledgement that, I was actually quite the opposite of a pity party, because the truth was, I was thinking this. I was like, you know what I haven't had happen to me? Some, bad physical, situation that caused me to slow down. Maybe it's, a sore throat or, some sort of, leg, soreness or whatever. Something. Nothing has messed with me. And, the thing is, before I used to use these, physical, setbacks as motivation to win at life even more. And I haven't had one of those in a while. And I wonder if, the easier life physically has actually made me more weak. And, I think there's a direct correlation with, for me at least, more indulgence and relaxation and dopamine equals less proud of myself. Yeah, it's good to recognize. Let's all take a moment to appreciate we can breathe through our nose. Hell yeah. Well, some people can. Some people nose are cooked. Truth or dare? Truth. Can you please say happy birthday to Allison? What's your favorite movie on Netflix? I don't think I have one. What are these votes saying? Is the moon landing real? We got 69% saying yes, 31% saying no. Okay, so what the 31% that's saying no, what is your guys' argument for the moon landing not being real? I would love to hear it. I would love to hear the arguments. Is water wet? Yes. Dopamine is great, though. It's the thing that facilitates learning, I think. Haha. I'm not 100% sure if that's true. There's good dopamine and there's bad dopamine. I think bad dopamine is hardcore drugs, fast food. And I think good dopamine is working out, getting in nature, looking at a nice waterfall, and going on a hike. Hi, what's up? What's up? I got called racist in McDonald's today. Well, you're at McDonald's, man. You can't expect much from those people. Thank you for the gifts. Are you interested in philosophy? Of course. Of course. I always been. Hi, what up? Benjamin Netanyahu wants to have a chat with you. Tell him I'm busy. Do you speak more than 2 languages? No. I want to, though. I want to get... Actually, let me put on the filter for the translation. Yeah, drop some Spanish for me. Let me practice some Spanish. Put on a shirt, homeboy. Hell no. It's hot. I ain't no serial killer, but if I was one... If it was one off, but there was no series. Wait, what? If someone gives you $20 for something that costs $14.72, what is their change? Like, are you asking me like as a store clerk? Yeah, I mean their change is like $5.28. But if you're asking like as a friend, like I'm like, I'll just give you like, you know, $5 back or whatever you. And I'll be like, do you want me to give you $6 or do you need six or you go with five or whatever? That's what I'd probably say. And if like, nah, but I really need the six, then I would give it to them, but I would make a judgment on that. Like, in fact, I make heavy judgments based off of your like cheapness when it comes to like Venmo or owing money. Like I'll always give you the money, but just understand that you've made a permanent stance on the way I think about you for the rest of your life. Like I remember this one person that asked me for an extra 12 cents, right? And that he's like, yeah, sorry. Like, he's like, I don't want to be that guy. And I was like, what do you mean you want to be that guy? You're being that guy right now. I was thinking in my head. But of course, I was like, oh, yeah, of course, man, of course. Of course I'll do that. So I took a screenshot of it, like me, like doing the $12 or the 12 cents extra. And like I said, I didn't refuse to do it. I gave him the money, 1,000,000,000%. But I will never forget the fact that he asked me for an extra 12 cents and how horrifyingly cheap that is and how I would never do business with someone like that or never ask for money from them or give them money ever again. And now I've never exchanged money with them ever again because that's fucking insane. So I am big on like if someone asks you for the exact amount of money back that you owe them, then give it. You know what I mean? But also don't get, and you know, if you want your money back that's extreme and like the exact, then ask for it. But don't get mad when people look at you like a cheap fucking weirdo. Okay? Sorry. So, yeah. I always owe back the money that was given, but if you're weird about it and you're like, oh, that extra 12 cents, or like, oh, like, dude, I'll never forget. Like, sometimes I'll even, and I don't even realize I do this, but I'll test someone. I'll be like, oh, do you want me to pay you back for that? Like, really, I'm saying, like, if you say yes to me paying you back for this, I'm never asking you for money again. I'm never doing a deal with you again, and you're completely changing the judgment I have for you on how you do, like, transactions with your friends. But I'll still always ask. You know what I mean? I'll always ask. And if they really want that shit, then I'll be like, yep, I'll give it to you, 1,000%. But, yeah. Okay, no, it's cool. I was being racist at McDonald's. What? The moon is a hologram. Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. Who took his picture then? Thank you for the gifts. I mean, honestly, just the fact that back then they didn't have very good technology, but somehow the moon landing was on TV, it's all kind of weird. True. Yo, don't Tel Aviv about that. Haha. Have you ever... What the hell? Will you tell your story again? What story? What story you want? I told a story the other day. The other night. I have a question, brother. Thank you for the gifts. I just want... it was just a math question for you. Oh, pass. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I completely took that a different way then. That's funny. Okay, you're gonna believe the same government that told you aliens weren't real, then they suddenly released stuff. Plus, Neil said multiple times before he died the landing was fake. Wow. First off, I don't believe the government for shit on anything. So I hope you're not talking about me. I'm already talking about in general. I do believe aliens are real. And there's a lot of sketchy shit surrounding the moon landing. What I love about the moon landing conspiracy, and still my favorite thing about it, is how convicted each sides are, okay? The people that think it didn't happen are like, it didn't happen. Are you guys idiots? And the people that think it did happen are like, it did happen. Are you guys idiots? Both are so confident and convicted, which is why I like it so much. Hi, what up? Please go take a bath. Thank you for the gifts. Hi, what up? Hello, bro. Hey, you did refuse that 12 cents? No, I gave the 12 cents. I gave the 12 cents. I gave it. I gave the 12 cents, but that was the last money that was ever given to that person. That's the thing, is the 12 cents was given. You know what I mean? It was. If you ask for it, I'll give it to you, because technically that's the money that was owed. But it just makes me understand, okay, that's where we're at. We're at the connection of an Uber drive. You know what I mean? We're not at a friendship connection. You know what I mean? We're at an you're my Uber driver connection. You're my drug dealer connection. That's as close as we'll ever be. You know what I mean? The second you give me some shit like that. You know? How's you? I'm doing good. How about, do you think that you see the exact same shade of blue that I see? Or is my blue... I don't know. It's a great question. I've always thought about that. I'm back with up. Which FIFA team do you support? I don't really... USA, I guess, but it's from USA, but I don't really care. Like 12 cents used to be enough for a cheeseburger. I know, before that made sense, but now it doesn't. Especially with like Zell and all that. Begging eyebrow. Okay, which FIFA team do you have a favorite college football NFL team you excited for? I mean, Dolphins, because I'm from South Florida. Yeah, respect. Which FIFA? Okay. Can you tell a story about your best psychedelic experience? I mean, probably the first time I took them, because my biggest concern was like I thought I was gonna like lose my ego and I wasn't gonna be egotistical anymore. That's like the complete opposite happened. Like my brain went, no, I'm still egotistical. I still love myself. I love myself almost too much. Like I was completely misinformed about mushrooms. I thought like, again, like everyone's like, nah, you're gonna lose your ego, all this shit. And I was like, what? No, complete opposite. I also thought I was gonna lose my drive too. That was another thing I was really afraid that was gonna happen. I thought people were gonna be like, yo, like I thought once you take psychedelics, you're like, who cares about push-ups and making money? I just want to chill, peace and love. That didn't happen either. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm definitely doing the right thing with push-ups and, like trying to self-improvement. I'm so happy I'm doing this. Like it almost reinforced what I was doing and told me to do it more. So it was a good experience. Vape, the friend's birthday party story. Friend's birthday party story. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That story I didn't tell as good as I wanted to. So if you guys want to hear it again, I can. Hi, right, what up? I'm back. True. Have you ever ate chicken of the woods? It's a fungus, high protein, yummy. Are you talking about mushrooms? Spit some, okay. Just stick to the recent chat or put 5-second cooldown. What if he was 12 cents short on his rent, bro? He needed that. Then that's your fault, and I would never trust someone that's relying on someone else for their own rent. You know what I mean? Fuck that shit. No, it's so unacceptable. And again, like you can do it, and I'll give you the money. But just so you know, I look at you differently now. I respect you differently now. I don't respect you really. I just think you're a cheap person. I would never do business with you. Completely ruled out me doing business with you, doing money transactions with you ever. You know, completely ruled out me trusting you, trusting that you would do a good thing for me, or trusting that you would, or that I would do something for you then that would expect, like, when people be like, oh, I did this for you because I know you would do the same for me. Like, I don't have that feeling towards you anymore, I don't know if you'd do the same for me. In fact, you kind of proven that you wouldn't. What was the most stupid thing you've ever done? I've done a lot of stupid stuff. Probably choosing to smoke weed multiple times in a day and then doing it consistently for a week and then, doing it from then on out once COVID started. Scary stuff. When did you start thinking you should work out, or when did you get motivation to start? Towards the end of high school, really. That's when I got the motivation. Bro, they want me to lose, dude. They want me to lose, man. They just destroyed my stream again. That's so sad. Repent for your sins, for kingdom of heaven is near. Hi, new sub, cutie. That's good. You know what's interesting about today? I will tell you guys, today went by fast as hell. You know what I mean? Fast as hell. I will tell you guys that. Like, it just, and then all of a sudden, it's nighttime. Like, I swear when I woke up from my nap, it felt like, is it already night? It feels like morning, which is very, very odd. It just feels very, very weird. You hear that loud-ass motorcycle? That's crazy. That's good. It's not egotistical to say, I love myself. That's the opposite of ego. But it gets egotistical when you say, I love myself more than you. Yeah. Or it's more like, I think I'm better than you. I am better than you. I think that's when it gets egotistical. I mean, I don't think it's bad to love yourself more than other people. I mean, you are with yourself towards the end of it. At the end of the day, you are like, it's funny when people like don't treat themselves the best, as if you're not the one that has to deal with yourself morning, day, midday, and night. Like, you have to deal with yourself all the time. So you better make sure you have a good connection with yourself, because you're dealing with that shit 24/7. It's like, that's why you really can't take what people's opinions on how to live your life too serious, because you have to deal with that shit. You know what I mean? If someone gives out an opinion on how to live their life, how to live your life, and you follow it, and then you get, bad things that come from it, guess who gets to deal with that? You. You have to deal with their idiotic decisions that they're making for you. At least when you make a bad decision for yourself, you know it was your fault and you can change it. If someone else makes a bad decision for you, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't allow that. Come on, guys. What stop sign? Hey, what up? Thank you for the gifts. Please tell it again. You want the story again? Are you sure? I don't know. They're cutting off my stream. I kind of feel like I have a conditional empathy. Like if someone is complaining about something, but I know they wouldn't care if it was me in that situation, I lose a lot of empathy for them. I definitely have, I definitely don't have like, if empathy was a skill, I don't have it. I don't have the skill. I definitely don't, because there are specific people that I know are like that have gone through a shitty thing, and it's impossible for me to have empathy for them because they made the decision themselves. And it's still something I'm trying to work on to this day, to like have an understanding that like, look, just because they made a decision doesn't mean that you can't still have empathy. Maybe they made the wrong decision, like, but it's very difficult for me to right now. So like I said, if it was a skill, it would be a skill I don't have. Put a shirt on, bro. Maybe that is psychopath behavior. Haha, maybe. I'm sending you $10. Where's your shirt, brother? Don't make me act up. What the fuck? It's hot. I'm not wearing a shirt. Hi, put on a shirt on, bro. No. Yo, bro, put on a shirt if you don't mind. No, well, I hate myself. No, let's not think that way. Let's fix that. Let's get better at life, and let's not think you hate yourself. Because there's no point, okay? There's so many shitty people in the world to hate that the last person you should hate is yourself, okay? Like, there's so many shitty people out there, okay? There's dictators, there's corrupt politicians, there's, scam artists, charity workers. There's all these people that are so hateable, you really shouldn't hate yourself. There's so many other people to hate out there. Hi, what up? Oh, fuck, I didn't mean to start, put on your shirt, Colin, my bad, brother. Haha, no, it's all good, I always get that. But what I'm saying is I love myself for you, and when I say I love myself more than you, isn't it the same as saying I'm better than you? No, it's not. Saying I'm better than you is saying I'm better than you, which is a very interesting thing to say. I notice that people, like, get that term misinterpreted. Like, when I talk, people will be like, oh, the way you talk makes it sound like think you're better than everyone. I'm like, what? I get confused because I'm like, I don't think that at all. I don't even understand the term of better than. Like, if you've truly been through a psychedelic experience, you have the overall baseline thought process that all humans are equal. This is just the thought process you most likely will have. You know what I mean? It's true. Like, this idea that, oh, you're better. There's no one better than anyone. I could be stronger than someone. I could be better at making money than them, but I'm not better than them, because there is no better, because that's not how being a human works, okay? Maybe success to them is, being a homeless person that, helps other homeless people, through their, struggles, Like we don't really have a direct definition. So I will never use the whole like, oh, I'm better than you, or think that, or want to think that, or believe that. I'll never believe that. I can believe that I have skills over someone. I can believe that someone has skills over me. I'll never think that anyone is better than anyone. I always have the psychedelic view that we're all humans, we're all equal. But I do think you can say you love yourself more than other people, because that's not egotistical. That's just self-love to the highest form. You know what I mean? And there's only so much love out to give. So, hello. But I do get a little frustrated. And this happened to me when I was younger too, especially like towards the end of high school, when I would start talking, and some of my family members, not like one of my family members, was like, well, the way you talk, it makes it sound like you think you're better than everyone. And I'm like, I was so confused, because I'm like, that's literally not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to kind of emphasize how I want to become good at life, and just prove to myself that I can work hard and become good at something, and just get good at life and become good. Like, just because I want to be the best at something doesn't mean I think I'm better than everyone. I think those are not correlated at all. Hello, stalk and steal from traumatized people to get more for yourself. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Hi, what up? Pancakes, waffles, pancakes. I've been drinking raw syrup recently, so I've been on that grind. So it's been good. Brother, exist as comfortably as you could. I was joking about the shirt. No, you're good. No doubt. Data centers. You could have played Achilles. I'm in the new one. Same. Fair take. But do you play basketball by chance? I'm trying to get back into it. I'm not as good. I lost my skill. I know Tommy Shelby Peaky ass isn't talking shit about not understanding. Thoughts on eating raw eggs? Hell yeah, why not? Just find good source of eggs. Hair looking tragic. Hi, what up? What do I do with high school if everyone is getting picked on by this girl? All the teachers really like her and never believe it. What's funny? I remember specifically, like, when I was really, really young, a situation where this girl was literally picking on me. I was in, like, kindergarten, you know what I mean? And I remember specifically like freaking out and being like, they're bad, I promise you. And she just literally did the, I would never, like, and like it was like this switch, and it like, I was like, no, and I like freaked out. Luckily, I was also kind of a good kid, so like there was something to be said about like, you know, maybe he's onto something. But I just remember freaking out and being like, no, she's not a good person. She's like no. And I remember her being like to the teacher, like, I would never, like, it was so evil at such a young age. You know what I mean? And what's funny is like you're so young at that age that no one knows what the hell's going on. And like that specific girl, I remember her in middle school. I remember being like, you know, you used to like pick on me, like, and not in like a oh like that was fucked up way, more like in like a joking way. Like I think it's hilarious that like, you know, that was like the dynamic, you know, like it was funny, you know, not at the time. I mean, as a little kid, I'm like, what the fuck, you know. But I remember her being like no, that never happened. She's like, I don't know what, and she was like genuinely like, what the fuck. And I was like, nah, you did that shit to me. Like, you did. Like, I'm not saying, I don't care. It was, fuck, you were in kindergarten. You were 5. I don't care. It was you and your friend. I'm sure you guys didn't know what the fuck you were doing, but that did happen. She was like, no. And I was like, are you messing with me right now? Like if it was some situation I actually like was detrimental, then I would have really been like, are you fucking kidding me? But for me, I didn't care. It was one of those things that was like it was more of a one-off situation where I'm just like, are you serious right now? I was so mad. I remember being so mad, like, no, they are evil, I'm telling you. I remember the other friend used to like flick me just while we were sitting. Like, she would just flick me. I remember my mom being like, oh, they just like you. They just have a crush on you. Like, I promise you. In my brain, like, my kindergarten brain was like, well, I don't like when people have crushes on me then. You know what I mean? Like, me not understanding how the fucking world works. I'm like, well, that's a crush? Well, I hate that then. I don't like when girls have crushes on me. If that's what they do to me when they have a crush on me, then hell no. You know? Like, so, that was interesting. But, yeah, that's the thing is, like, that girl, she ended up being, like, really high in academics. And I remember her middle school, not a bully at all. Super, like, that's why me bringing it up to her in middle school, she was like acted like she was trying to hide a murder. It was hilarious. You know what I mean? Yeah, anyway, my bad. Sorry, I don't know why I got on a tangent. That was interesting. You brought up something about your life, and I turned it and brought it back to something about me. That is not how you make friends and influence people. Oh, man. Good thing it's my stream, though. It gives me a little bit of a pass to, like, just turn this conversation towards something about me. Because if this was a real conversation, human to human, that would look so selfish. Thank you for the gifts. What happened to your shoulder? It's freckles. Not on, no grind. Nice stream, but why? Holy shit, they're not fucking making me losing this shit today. I hate that. I cannot have it. I'm not accepting it. They're literally cutting off all my shit all fucking day today. They're messing with me today. Holy shit, they cannot do this to me. I'm gonna fucking die in a fire. Holy shit. Okay, no, we're not having any of this shit. Can't have it. I'm too high for this. Okay, cool. My stream's the best to watch that shit that way, but let's try to not do that and do push-ups instead. Hi, what up? I got a girlfriend today. Good stuff. Marks. Not gonna lie, I used to my girl privilege in school one time in kindergarten because me and the kid that always got in trouble were throwing rocks at each other, but the teacher didn't think it was me too. But now he's like in prison, so oh well, at least not in prison for throwing the rocks. That would be bad. Do you remember me and the toxic relationship? What? G gossip. Hey, what up? You're cute. She used to like me. LOL. What up? Cut up. Everyone is doing their best at their given state of consciousness. If we're actually aware of mistakes we are making, how are we hurting each other? Making our own life more cortisol spiky. Spiky, that's interesting. So isn't everyone innocent, even the most malevolent? Sorry, I know that word, I don't say it right ever. Malevolent people? My bad. If you do, I would like to continue. How would you save your stream when it cuts like that? I don't know. Check the Wi-Fi. YouTube wants your downfall. I know. Can I have your number? No. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Like, every human starts innocent. That's what's kind of weird about being a human, is like, you could look at someone that's a really bad person, right, and know that there was a specific time in history when they did nothing wrong, you know? Even a day Hussein's son, that guy is like one of the worst men in history ever, right? It's the one guy like I look at in human history. I'm like, I would love to have a fist fight with this guy. You know what I mean? Like over Hitler, over Genghis Khan, over, you know what I mean? Uh, Freaking like Vladimir Putin. All these people, I would much rather fight a day Hussein. And the truth is, even that guy at the age of 5 years old was innocent. You know, he was an innocent kid. It's just his dad was messed up, as we know, obviously, and he grew up with a bunch of money and power, and that's what happened. So, very, very odd. I got bullied for a six-pack. I find that hard to believe. Might be, I think I'm tipsy. What's this fool rambling on about? I just got back from the bar. I stay by myself. Got back from the bar on a Tuesday? Tuesday bar hops? Low-key goes crazy. I think it swings... What? Hi, what up? Who's your celebrity crush? I don't have a celebrity crush. That is something I haven't had since, like, honestly, high school. The idea of me developing an emotional connection with someone that doesn't even know I exist is literally insane to me. Like, for me to develop any romantic or emotional connection to a woman, I would need for her to express interest and romantic connection to me first. If not, then I can't feel that. You know what I mean? I could think, oh, they're physically hot, but that doesn't do anything emotionally for me. You know what I mean? That doesn't change much. You know, it needs to be a genuine, like, oh, I can see that how high interest they are. That's what really gets me, is you showing high interest. Until you do that, it's very hard to get my attention. So, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Okay. Just look at my highest viewed streams with the girls in my streams. And then you can kind of answer your own question with that one. Why don't you have a shirt on? It's hot. It's hot. Knock, knock. How the fuck is this stream just getting cut? Honestly, it's my least favorite thing. Is it true abs are made in the kitchen? I've been very skinny my whole life, but never had visible abs except when I was doing gymnastics and doing a lot of core exercises. Abs definitely help in the kitchen, but also core exercises help too. It's both. It's just both abs, and both core exercises and in the kitchen. Here's the thing, and I've said this 10 trillion different times, but I'll say it multiple times over and over again because it's the exact same thing. For losing weight, getting abs, it's all the same thing. I've told you guys this. So, I'm sorry, but there's an or emphasis in this question, okay? Are abs made in the kitchen? You're implying or the other thing. Like, this is the issue. Abs are made in the kitchen, but also you need to do the core exercises. So when it comes to losing weight or getting abs, it's not about and. It's not about or. It's all about and, okay? No, oh, are they made in the kitchen or do I do core exercises, right? Both. Not about or. It's and. Kitchen and core exercises. It's not this is the thing that's kind of frustrating about weight loss, and I always get the same questions. Another question, what's the biggest tips on weight loss to lose weight? The same thing I've said every single time, okay? It's not about or. It's not about or. It's about and. Do I do resistance training? Yes. Do I do walks? Yes. Do I go out with my friends? Yes. Do I eat no sugar? Yes. Do I do a carnivore diet? Yes. Do I eat only fruits? Yes. Like, all of these questions that you have that sound like strategies that I've been talking about, yes to all of them. This is my point. Like, do I go on the treadmill for an hour a day? Yes. Do I also do resistance training? Yes. Yes, you also do that. Do I also wake up and walk my dog? Yes. Yes, you also do that. Do I also cut off all bread? Yes. Yes, you also do that. Do I also cut off all sugar? Yes. Yes. Yes, you also do that. Do I also only eat, high protein foods and, low carbs, and my carbs are only fruit, honey, sweet potatoes, or rice? Yes. Yes, also that. Do I go to the gym twice a day? Yes. Yes, also that. Do I make sure that I'm getting significant rest and red light therapy? Yes. Yes. This is my point. It's not about or. It's about and. This and that. And. Okay? I really hope I emphasize the weight loss thing and the getting abs thing, okay? Because it's the same thing every single time. Everyone's asking for these pro strategies. And if you implemented both of these strategies that you're questioning, or you'd have a better chance of getting the goal that you want. Okay? That's why it's so frustrating for me when I get these questions, because it's always the exact same thing every single time. Yes, this, yes, that, yes, and that, and that, and that. It's the same thing for self-improvement, really, if you think about it. And Casey Zander says it best, if people are like, how do I get a hot girl? How do I get a girl I want? It's like, do I start going to the gym? Yes. Do I start making money? Yes. Do I start that business? Yes. Do I start making my social media better? Yes. Do I get in dating apps? Yes. Do I go to bars? Yes. Do I start going to coffee shops? Yes. Do I start going to bookstores? Yes. Do I start going to farmers markets? Yes. Do I start going to volunteer work? Yes. Do I start going to friends of friends? Yes. Do I start saying yes to every invite? Yes. It's all about doing everything. That's my point. So I really hope you guys understand that. Hi, John. Even Uday can change, can't he? How is it his fault that he didn't know how to live in peace? Do you think Uday is fulfilled and not cortisol spiky living the way he lived? Why would he want suffering? First off, Uday definitely lived the wrong way, and it definitely felt like shit, okay? He was super emotionally reactive to a bunch of different things that, when he was supposed to be a political fucking leader. You know what I mean? Those don't correlate at all. You can't be, and the truth is, I'm not saying that it was a tough upbringing, but again, the other guy, Kwesi, he didn't do anything as bad as, Uday. So I believe that Uday deserves the worst. I would love to fight him. He already died. And that's what it is. Do you discuss conspiracies? Yes. Thoughts on peanut butter baby? What? Hey man, I'm here. What up? Do you know 21 Pilots? Of course. Hi, what up? Thank you for the gifts. You know how to swim? Of course. I'm from South Florida. I'm a water baby. You literally need to know how to swim. You want to know something interesting? I find it crazy that there's human adults that don't know how to swim. Especially when I see an athletic-looking person that doesn't know how to swim, it's extremely frustrating for me. When I see an athletic man, grown man, that, has an athletic body, and then they go into water and they don't know how to swim, it honestly frustrates the hell out of me. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I've been getting these videos of these guys that look athletic that are drowning from water. And there's mess ups, the friends mess up, they don't realize, and all of a sudden the guy's drowning. And it's it just pisses me off so much, because I'm if one person took one swimming class, one person just taught them how to swim, this wouldn't be a thing. I don't understand how you could, how could you get to a point where you don't teach your kids how to swim, and then, what if they fall into a lake? The first thing I'm teaching my kids to do, aside from martial arts and walking, is swimming. I feel like a job as a parent is to make your kid as unbreakable and unkillable as possible. And I think part of that is teaching them how to swim, teaching them how to walk and, have street smarts, and teaching them martial arts. That's what I believe. Can I edit videos for you if you want? I would love someone to edit videos for me, of course. That sounds awesome. Thank you. Say yes to the voices. What? Hi, Jake. You doing good? I'm doing good. Yes. Que eso no hombre. Sorry. Hombro. Are newbie gains crazy? Yes, they can be. Depends, I've seen people that have newbie gains that are so insane. Genetics don't lie, bro. Nothing sometimes genetics are just an insane thing that you just cannot change. I've seen some people that maybe they didn't necessarily get it that much stronger, but they got so much bigger that it's genuinely oh my God. But it really depends, man. Genetics are kind of ruthless to a certain extent, you know? Jake, what's up? Are you vegan? No. Hello, bro. I'm from India. I did not have a genetic, like, determinism, ruthless genetics, like, mindset until, like, real recently in my life, though. I'll tell you that. What's up, brother? What's good? What's good? Like, when I was younger in high school, never once did I think about, like, the idea of genetics, you know, playing a big factor in your life, you know? Agree. I blame my parents at 3, 4. You should be teaching them how to swim, but at the same time, as a teen or older, you should learn that shit if you don't know how. By the way, okay. Yes, you definitely should, but it's also difficult, and someone should just teach you. The same reason, like, I should have been taught another language as a little kid, because then I would have just known it, and it wouldn't have been something I would have had to learn. You know what I mean? You know, when kids grow up in a bilingual, you know, household, they just know 2 languages. They don't even have to think about it. That's the same thing for swimming for me. I didn't think about the fact that I learned how to swim. I just was doing it, and then all of a sudden, boom. All of a sudden, you just wake up and you're swimming and you don't even know. Like, I don't remember being taught how to swim. I just remember, like, in the past, just swimming and things going well. You know what? Actually, I do remember a specific camp I went to where there was, like, swim lessons, and they would always ring a bell after you passed a specific, like, level. And there was this one kid that I swear every single time he would pass with, like, so quickly. Like, I was, like, okay, I was pretty average. There was one kid every single time, like, and he was so advanced, it was insane. I'll also remember that, I remember that camp actually very well. I'll never forget this kid. We would go on the slide or, like, the trampoline or whatever whatever the thing you jump off of. What is it called? The plank? What's that thing called? The thing that you jump on, diving board or whatever. This kid would literally just sit there and be like, you can go past me, you can go past me, you can go past me, you can go past me. He's like, you can go in front of me. I don't think he ever went. I don't think he ever jumped off the diving board once. I think every single time he was too scared. Because I remember it was like one day, like, we went and he would be like, you can go past me, you can go past me. I was like, okay, all good. You know, it was a day, whatever. He did that every single day. So every single day he was like, I want to go, but I'm too afraid to. What I find interesting is how they allowed this to happen. I guess their supervision was off, or they just let him do whatever, I don't know. But I was like, the fact that he's so afraid to go, but he won't do it, and he's just like, as a kid, you don't think about it. You're just like, okay, whatever, I'll go, I don't care, you know. But now I'm older, I look back, and I'm like, this kid just basically wasted his fucking time. Because you could have just gone to the area where they're not diving and just chilled there, but you decided to waste your time basically blue balling yourself and being like, no, I'm about to go, and then never go. Like, bro, just go. You know? Yeah. I remember that camp so specifically because it was such a good camp. It was like one of those camps that was like, my parents were like, yeah, we can send you here like once and that's it. Like I remember being like, wait, I'm going here next summer, and they're like, no, that was like a one-time thing. It was so expensive. I was like, what? But I remember, like, first off, I remember getting packed lunch, right? And they gave lunch. There was like a cafeteria for lunch at a camp. Like, camp, that's not a thing for the most part. So, like, I'm like, I get 2 lunches every single day. And then my mom found out they give out lunch. Like, okay, then you can just have their lunch, whatever. But I was like, holy shit, like, this is insane. I also remember that was the first time I played basketball and, like, actually, like, was like, whoa, like, this is cool. Like, I like being in camp, having a basketball, and being near a basketball hoop and just being able to just play. You know, like, I enjoy this. I remember that specifically. Because I remember the guy, I remember I was probably so annoying. The guy that was there, I kept on telling him, like, look, I'm making it. Look, I'm making it. Every single time I would make it, be like, I made 9 in a row. He was like, yeah. Luckily, I was also a counselor for camp, so I kind of understand how, like, a kid thinks, you know. I'm weak as fuck. All right, we'll do push-ups right now then. Do push-ups right now. How are you, bro? I'm doing good. You are watching football, bro? No, I love swimming, but I hate the diving board, respectfully. Dude, I loved the diving board. I was addicted to it. I was the guy that would do a flip on it. I was the guy that would consider doing a double flip. Like, I was kind of an idiot, I I was like, there are things that I could do as a kid that me as an adult I would never do. Like do a full front flip off a diving board. I will not do that. You will not catch me doing that shit. You know what I mean? Um, no, I'm not into the flips. I used to flip a lot at trampolines, and I hurt myself really bad, and I scared myself. I used to be really good at flipping too. I'm considering doing a double flip too, bro. Yeah, I was that guy. I was that guy that was like, I want to get to a point where I can do a double backflip just standing. You know what I mean? Because I got to a point where I could do a flip, like if I jump off the platform, and I got to a point where I could just go on a trampoline and just do a flip just on the trampoline. Once I got to that point, I was like, oh my gosh. And it was funny because I was getting good enough at trampoline parks where people thought I was like good. You know, like I remember getting to a point where like no one in there was good. So I was like the one guy kind of doing some tricks, and everyone was like, wow, like you're so good. And then I remember my friend who also went there a lot, and he was way better than me. And he just saw everyone praising me, and he just came in and just absolutely destroyed it. Started doing like double flips, like some shit I've never seen before. And it's funny how like perception goes there. It's like if it's the new people there and not like regulars, they think what you're doing is insane. They're like, oh my gosh, this guy's an acrobat. He's a professional. When there's everyone there that like knows what they're doing, you're just shit, you know? And that's kind of because there was a point where I got the pass. I got a summer pass. I didn't realize how much I was into the trampoline parks, but low key, this shit was fun as hell. Like off the wall, oh my gosh, dunks and dodgeball and oh my. Yeah. That was interesting. All right. You used to play football? Yes. I know you are very talented. Oh, thank you. What's up, Jake? Should I subscribe to you and add to the 903 notifications from YouTube, or should I not subscribe and look at my notifications? Maybe you should focus on getting the notifications situated and then subscribe, honestly. Like, if you love the content, then yeah, subscribe, but like, don't feel this crazy urge to. Like, you always can come back and subscribe. Figure out your situation first. I know. Why does this mustache give off widowless van at primary school vibes? What the fuck? Hi, gotta face your fears at one point. I have severe thalassophobia and never get into swimming. I know what that is. That's when you're afraid of like water. I'm doing exposure therapy with Subnautica 2 LMAO, but I hate being in deep water in general. That's fine though. Good stuff. Oh, you are a pretty girl. Okay. Hi, what up? I'm considering doing a double flip too, bro. Just considering it. Yeah, I'm not considering it anymore. My younger self, that time has passed. Messi is greatest of all time. Every India say Messi is very popular in India, bro, you know. My biggest fear is being paralyzed from that shit, bro. Exactly. I can do back handspring on the ground, but for some reason backflip seems much scarier. Yeah, that's the thing is if you hesitate too, then it's not going to help. You believe in God, bro? I believe in higher power. Dylan Brooks Moggs? Who's that? Oh, the basketball player. We need to get more weed tomorrow morning. I don't. I need to stay away from that. Passing 12th grade and getting an SUV, what productive I can do with it? I don't know. Hi, what up? Money will be transferred to your account. Can you play a song for me? I subbed. You're cool. Enjoy the night. See ya. Thank you. Zoom, you're working and wrong. Okay. I just came back from gym. Hell yeah, good stuff. Can I request a song, please? Nope. Brother, police department will arrest you soon for YouTube live streaming. Thank you for the big gift. First gift by AJR fan. Much, much appreciated. People bully me today because I wore a dress to church, but I said ever since I got out of the toxic relationship, I've been we and 1,000-pound dumbbells on sometimes. What? I don't like India, all a bunch of scammers. And I have a six-pack. I need something for the gifts. Thank you for the support. Yo, if we hit 14.1K subs today, that'll be a good goal to hit. If your wife dies from children or childbirth, can you press charges on the baby? You will be transferred to another Amazon tomorrow morning. I'm always joking, but you don't clock it. My bad. Apparently, you know, sometimes I'm looking at this chat. Sometimes I look at the chat, I look at what I'm reading, and I'm just like, there are humans that are saying these things. I know some are bots, but there are humans out there that are saying these things. Bro, I came from the gym. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. King Kong, Titanic, Anaconda movie night. Okay, hi, what up? I'm laying in bed like a bum. Okay, well, you called it out. So how about you do 50 push-ups right now? Do you feel like an adult? That's a question I've never had in my entire life. Holy fuck. Sometimes. Not all the time, though. I want to feel more like an adult. Where are you from, South Florida? What Doom game do you think is the best? Bro, is telling sometimes then. Low-key, like, I'm scared if I can't see the bottom or I can't, either one scares me. Like the bottom of ocean or not, I feel like something is going to drag me down. Like squids are terrifying. Low-key, I do recently in the beach for whatever reason, because I guess before I was just saw as the beach and now I kind of more educated on what's in the ocean. Like, I was far out on the beach and I was low-key like, so if something just took me down, I'm dead. Like, I was, last time I was in Florida, I went far out there. Because another reason I wanted to go far out there is because I was watching all these videos of these guys drowning. And again, I've been in Arizona, so I haven't swam in a very long time. So I'm like thinking, is there something I'm missing? Like, why the fuck am I seeing all these videos of, like, people drowning? It's like, is the water getting more difficult to survive in? It was kind of a joke, but I just kind of wanted to, like, see where my swim skills were at. Turns out, no swim skills were lost. I know exactly how to swim, exactly how I'm great at it. Probably better than before, to be honest. I know exactly how it works. Even the beach waves, I'm better at swimming than most people because I'm used to beach waves instead of just flat pool. But I did notice that when I was far out there, I was like, low-key, this is kind of creepy. Because at the end of the day, like, I know it's very low odds that anything can attack me from here, but I don't know. I have no idea. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely a mindset thing, but it is interesting. Like I said, since I got out of my toxic relationship, I've been living on steak, fruit, and weed and 1,000-pound dumbbells. Okay, that sounds like you're making fun of me. That sounds like you're making fun of me. But my job is going to be an underwater welder. Hey, where you from? From South Florida. Hey, what up? Like I said, I try to slow down, I guess. What, I only smoked twice today? Bro, that sounds like you're making fun of me. Every Pakistan don't like India, I know, bro. School bus, long squid, that weighs more like 1K pound. Hell nah. I don't fuck with the ocean. Why do octopus exist? That's why I love Pakistanis. We have one thing in common. We do not fuck with India. Actually, yeah, Pakistan and India low-key got beef from what I saw. I'm scared of swimming in the ocean, LL. Winter octopuses are the best, least of your worries. Squid are way more aggressive. Make sure to practice holding your breath. It's a good skill so you drown less. Yeah. Ocean is scary. Humboldt squids get to 8 feet and are known to attack and severely injure humans. Interesting. We are nothing to judge any country or any person who hate any country. He is uneducated and stupid. I am Indian, but I can proudly say I like Pakistan, and there are people is also so nice. Well, there's an opinion. I always liked all my people from India. Shout out all my Indian fans. I work offshore and sharks and world swim around. And shout out my Pakistan fans. I like my Indian fans and my Pakistani fans, which I have both a lot of. Hello, what up? First off, did he invite you? And where is he at? Secondly, have you done anything around the house? Are your house filthy and needs dusted and needs vacuum and needs sweep? Okay, what are you talking about? Hindu virus, Hindu attack Christians and Muslims. We don't fuck with India. Okay. Do you have any tips on how to get more muscular and stronger thighs? Stronger thighs? Squats. Hack squats, back squat, goblet squats, squats. And then leg extensions, slow and controlled. Wall sits with weights on your legs. But yeah, squats, a bunch of different variations of squats, hack squats, leg press. I don't know why I didn't say leg press, because the leg press machine's broken at my gym, so it's like I've been doing leg press a lot, but leg press is really good as well. What is all the India stuff, bro? It's such a ginormous country. Ginormous, I'm sorry. My bad. Country, how are you going to make a judgment about the whole thing and everyone? I agree. A lot of people make judgments about India, and it's like there's 1.4 billion people there. I don't think you can say that it's one thing. Same with California. You know, people try to say, "Oh, California's this." Like, California's huge. You know what I mean? Like, and this goes for a lot of things in the world. A lot of countries, cities, states, all this different stuff. No, I've never been in multiple toxic relationships ever since then. I've been trying to stay away from boys, and as long as I can try and be nice, I can. Hell, the fuck is Jinnamoris? Oh, you leave in Korea because you not look. I do not live in Korea. No. Oh, hi, you in a shirt? India might be the #1 country in population-wise. Yep. India brought the lettuce. Nope. Oh, I actually have no idea. But I'm pretty sure lettuce parasites. You know what? My only argument for lettuce parasites is the fact that they demonize red meat, they demonize raw eggs, they demonize raw chicken, all these different raw meat foods, but then parasites end up being on things like lettuce, which they don't give a fuck about washing. And like all the protocols for restaurants don't care about it. I find that hilarious. Gigantic. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Ginny Moras' country. Okay. Indian is father of Pakistan. Oh, okay. I thought India was the murder land and Israel was the further land. What are you talking about? Hi, what up? Yes, because if people made judgments about America the way they do with India, they say we're all fat and shoot. Yeah. Well, we are fat as fuck. Honestly, like anybody that says that like Americans fat, I'm like, yes, true. Like we are literally like so fat. It's insane. And want to know something interesting? They could tell the difference between a European fat and an American fat, meaning that they could see tourists and be like, I know that person's fat from America. Because European fat, it's like a gut, but they still have like somewhat skinny arms, like an old guy with a gut. American fat, they have like their arms look like the the Big Hero 6 type vibe. You know, it's there's a difference between American fat and European fat. And foreigners can see the difference very, very well, which I find very, very interesting. Now, the school shooting really makes no sense because the statistics don't really back it up that much. Like, there's still low odds that your school will get shot up, even though my brother's school got shot up. Like, one of the craziest school shootings of all time, Parkland shooting. But even then, even that, like me being close to an area where there was a school shooting, it's still known that, like, in the USA, they emphasize on media to scare people because they want to make schools more controlled, so they want to promote safety and take away your freedom. So the way to take away freedom is to scare people. That's why they show school shootings so much, because of course, my as a younger person, I always was like, why do they emphasize showing the school shooting so much, especially for my brother's school shooting? I was like, why do they show it so much? Like I understand 17 people died, but like 17 people die for a lot of different stuff, okay? I mean, there was 250,000 people that died in Indonesia for a tsunami. I've never heard about that once until like now, you know what I mean? Or that was my argument at that time, in like 8th grade or whatever. So I always questioned why. And I realized the reason is because they want to scare you, okay? The media doesn't want you to have information. They want to make you think a specific thing. So when they show you, oh, all these school shootings are happening in America, it's crazy that people genuinely are out here thinking if you go to America, you have a high chance of getting shot up in a school. Like, that's so incorrect, it's insane, okay? These other war-torn countries, kids are walking around with guns and shit. Or they're not, or the kids with guns really aren't even in school, to be honest. But, yeah, no, it's definitely a way bigger misconception. But you know what's not? Americans being fat. That's true. It's very, very true. It could not be more true. We are the fattest, sickest, most unhealthy population on Earth. And I'll say it to the day I die. Well, unless American can figure it out and not become that. At least I have an excuse for not eating my veggies. What's your excuse? I have an excuse. What's your excuse? Do you have any sleepover ideas? No, I don't. I don't know what question that is. It's okay to date my sister, or is it what are you talking about? I don't really know if I asked that right. I'm not a big workout person, but I'm trying to get into it. I'm basically trying to say and ask how to get more sturdy thighs just to be more strong. I will still tell you the same thing about the thighs, and it's squats. Squats, different variations of squat. Back squats, front squats, goblet squats, squats on the Smith machine, hack squat, leg press. Like, I'm telling you, squats. And leg extensions are good too, I saw this weird Twitter thing where this guy was like calling up his like past relationship and he's like, look, I need you to tell me if that kid's mine or not. And the lady's like, you didn't care 20 years ago. Why do you care now? He's like, because my daughter just said that she's dating your son, and I need to know if that kid's my son. Because if that's the case, then my daughter is fucking his sister or her brother or whatever. I was like, holy shit. And the dad was laughing about it. It was the weirdest Twitter thing. I don't know if it was real or not, but it was hilarious. Let me know if you guys saw that. Also on Twitter, everything that's blowing up is basically like the Tates getting arrested. So I want to know your guys' opinions on that too. America takes the most pride in culture. Is that true? I don't know if that is. Because your body fat deposits different from Europeans and other races. What are you saying? Oh, okay, maybe you didn't say that the right way. I'm assuming you're not saying that there's different genetics in Americans that make them, their body fat, proportionally different than Europeans. I really hope you're not saying that. I really hope so. I really hope so. Okay? I really hope you're saying that American food is so bad that it causes a fat reaction that's way more severe in not only the gut, but also the arms and the legs. The Americans have way more than Europeans. Okay. Do you live in? I don't know what that is. What the fuck? Corey? America is the most powerful country. America is super powerful. Okay. G. Praise America. Come on, boo. Can you get? Okay. Hot take. Schools are glorified prisons. Yeah. Hello. I'm USA. I'm black. Okay. USA and India. I mean, school shootings are definitely a huge issue, specifically in America, but not like how they think in Europe. Its present threat through media isn't helping. Yeah. The thing is, it's definitely an issue, 1 trillion%. I mean, mental health's also a big issue, like in general. I think the dangers of people having bad mental health and how that could harm society, I think that's a big issue, and school shootings are a part of that, for sure. But it's not like what they think, where I had like international students from like my school and stuff, because like, you know, I went to a high school with international students, and they'd be like, bro, when I came here, I thought I would like have to be like running from like shooters like all day. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's crazy the propaganda they're being fed. Like, they're basically being told like it's happening every other day, like in the same school type thing. Like, that's how much the propaganda got bad. You know what I mean? And this is coming from someone who had a brother that was in the worst high school shooting in history. I get a notification after stream and chicken nugget. Okay, what's cooking? Good looking. Thank you. I brought someone from you off Marketplace. What? You bought some? I didn't sell anything on Marketplace. Yeah, there are higher chances you get shot in Afghanistan than America, 1 trillion%. What type of bullshit is this, gang? Like, I'm scared for life. Brazilian, do you smoke? Okay. No, I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm trying to do less marijuana. Hi, what up? America, superpower. Name your favorite Zionist chat. Okay. America and India, very good relationship. Look in Netherlands, famine and genetics, because it turns out fat can be somewhat genetic, but in America, it's just the fucking food. It's interesting. Yes, so here's the thing. I believe definitely, like, if you can look at, like, Africa and be like, okay, there's, like, some definitely genetic differences with the, you know, fat and stuff. But to say that Americans and Europeans have that much different with their fat distribution is incorrect. I mean, a lot of Americans, surprise, surprise, where do you think they came from? Hate to tell you, a lot of them, Europe. In the 1800s, there was a big migration of, I'm pretty sure, 20 million Europeans coming to the USA. I'm pretty sure that happened in the 1800s. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. So, it's interesting. Sup? What up? Hi. I mean, I definitely might be misinformed. Maybe the food is just horrible, but I think you can tell a 300-pound American from a 300-pound European. Yeah. I mean, talking about propaganda, the World Cup is fixed. The winner has already... Well, if it was fixed, then Argentina would have won, I thought. Speed run, huh? Yeah, I know. Afghanistan is literally filled with war and was torn from war. I don't think it's really good when you compare how many people get shot in America compared to Afghanistan, brother. Well, it's not even comparable, really. But how is it trying to take away rights to report on school shootings and emphasize them? I don't mean change the story or anything. Oh, so here's the thing. The biggest issue is that, again, they use it as a entry to promote what they're already trying to promote. So, I'm not saying they shouldn't talk about it and how bad it is, but I think what they should really be focused on is the mental health aspect and how do we get kids to have better mental health rather than focusing on, okay, well, we need to make schools safer now. Now we need metal detectors in school and we need to have clear backpacks and we need to surveillance everything that they do. It's like, okay, but they're taking away our freedom for safety, okay? And that's a big issue that a lot of people are afraid of, you know what I mean? And the truth is, like, how safe are you in their claim to be safe environment? That's the other thing too. I am from India, but work in America. Me too. P.S. If I find someone within next month, I will smoke 18 times a day. What? What are you talking about? Like the right to carry guns? That could be part of it, you know. But really just like right to just be free. Like the fact, like if you're walking through a metal detector to go to a place every single day, that's taking away your rights. It just is. You know what I mean? It's, you know, not like the highest form of it. It's not like they're saying you have to go in this fucking cell, but they are saying we have to check you because we don't trust you enough. You are a threat. That's the funniest thing about it. Like, I find it funny on like a raw primal human level that like they kind of, it's like this weird thing, especially with TSA. I know it's kind of off topic, but TSA, they act like you are a threat. You know what I mean? And they're justified in doing it because if not, then they can't be wrong. So there's this weird job position where you're allowed to be an asshole, and they love it. It's the weirdest thing. You know what I mean? That's why whenever a TSA person's really nice, I always like emphasize that. You know what I mean? Do you know any other languages? When terror is within the people, when you're scared from getting shot or horrified, you won't be in the right mindset to realize what's going on in your government. I believe that is very true. I believe this idea that, like, you know, if they scare you right before putting in like a protocol, it'll make you more okay with the decision. Meaning, like, if they come in and they, you know, bomb the USA or whatever, it's a lot easier to implement more safety and security shit where it's like, okay, now we have to, you know, make sure we're monitoring everyone's phone and their cars and all this stuff for our own safety. It'd be a lot easier to implement that safety after getting bombed. You know what I mean? And so I see your point. Or if that's what the point you're trying to make. If no one has guns, you are more safe than the problem. Is you're more weak against the government in that case. Yes. That's the thing is the whole gun situation is very interesting because we already kind of fucked up with guns. Do I think guns are great? I mean, they are what they are, but they were made in the 1700s, and now that's the end of it. So, like, the only way to get rid of the gun issue is to literally take away every single gun on Earth, and that's impossible, you know? So, it is what it is. Like, it was a fuck up that we made them and invented them, but also how are we not going to do that to hunt and kill? So, at the end of the day, there's no getting around this one. From the way I see it. Yes, I agree, focus on the reason they're shooting, not surveil the schools more, but honestly, I am stricter gun laws in addition to focusing on the root issue. I think there should definitely be stricter gun laws, especially with background checks. I think that should be way more emphasized. Like, I think because gun laws, they carry out I think they need the background checks to be annoyingly, like, difficult. You know what I mean? Because that's what happened with the school shooter at my brother's school, Nick Cruz. The first time he went into his gun store to get a gun, the guy didn't give it to him. He thought he was a psychopath. And the next guy did. And that guy now has to, like, shut down his store because everyone's like, how the fuck could you sell this guy a gun? You know? It's crazy. TSA people are never nice. They're asses and they're angry and rude people. I hate them. True. What keeps you going every day to keep working out and motivates you? I hate being weak and inadequate. In history, every time the government seizes guns, the citizens get mass killed. Interesting. His point in media highlights certain news for their agenda while now showing some other important news. Hola. Yes, after 9/11 came the Patriot Act, which really just took away everyone's privacy. I'll not be surprised if they have another national security event as excuse to implement more invasion measures. It was called COVID. You know what I mean? Like, hey, the world's scary, and we're going to take away your freedom, but we're going to give you safety. So we're taking away your freedom. You have to wear a mask. You can't go to these places, but you're now safe because you're, you know, protected from the virus. You know what I mean? It's fucking bullshit. That's where I get, and I'm like, no. How's the healthcare there? In the USA, whew, it's something, man. I like your haircut. You look like a scammer who is... I am not a scammer, man. I'm the opposite of that. Moon landing is real, but moon is not real. Gotcha. Well, this guy might be onto something. The problem is guns are way too implemented in America, that even if guns were illegal, the citizens won't be safe while criminals will still be carrying guns. It's dumb to take them away now. Exactly. It's dumb to take them away now. We already fucked up. That's my point, is we're already screwed, you know? So, you guys see that one guy's idea? He's like, well, what if we just melt all the guns? Like, I know it sounds crazy. You guys see that video? That's the most insane video I've ever seen. He's like, but what if we just melt the guns? Then there's no guns. You guys know what video I'm talking about? I might have to pull it up. Like, I like guns for home and self-defense. Yeah, Winterfell, if you speak against the Jews, they get you. Oh my God, how are you so fine? Thank you. Yeah, don't give guns to libos or... Okay. Yeah, for sure. And also should be requirements for parents who own guns to ensure their kids can access them. Yes. Yeah, bad people always find a way to get guns. Exactly. And they'll just make their own, even if they, you know, there'll be some black market guy that, you know, figures out there's money to be made and ban, like, there's so many different ways. How to know gender. Okay. Does trying to get the goal of extremely long hair worth all it takes as a girl? I don't know. I never want to go for long hair. I want to keep mine pretty short. I don't think I agree with the COVID thing. Masks really were just required in private business, and I also don't think that really benefits the government. Masks were required for a lot more than just, you know, I mean, they were required in schools. They were required in gyms. They were required in a lot of different spots. And the truth is, I don't think that they were, like, mischievously making this plan. You know what I mean? I don't think, like, the people that were presenting COVID and all of them, I don't think it was like, oh, we're tricking them and we know we're tricking them. I'm not claiming that. I'm more saying they saw COVID as an opportunity to be like, wait, we could really implement how we can test how safety works. You know what I mean? I recommend you guys really watch the documentary on Fauci, okay? That will really, really change your perspective of COVID. And because, like, most people that don't watch it just are uninformed. Every single person that watches the documentary automatically is like, holy fuck, Fauci should be in jail. But the only people that don't think Fauci should be in jail are the ones that don't watch the documentary and just, like, blindly defend him. So I really recommend watching the documentary about Fauci and COVID. I think it'll definitely give you guys some good perspective. But I agree that it's a pattern. Don't put words in my mouth. And it. He's only going to prison. The guy from Appalachian, I thought he would get death card. That's what the surveillance made for use your brain flower. I think masks were dumb and barely helped during COVID. I mean, come on, brother. Do you really think Trump entered the Iran fight out of anger of the regime? It's a cover story, and you see nobody talking about the files nowadays. It's all become the memes. I honestly, that's funny. I mean, yeah. Because he was... Masks were not required at my school, just had online 1.5 years. Really? At my school required masks for the hybrid thing. But regardless, just the fact that you had online school for 1.5 years, and again, some people like school, some people don't, that is taking away your freedom to experience a high school experience. For me, it was high school, maybe for you guys, middle school, whatever. Honestly, it would have been so much better if I had COVID during middle school, because middle school fucking sucked. It was developing years. I would have much preferred to have COVID during middle school and then enjoyed a nice high school experience and not have COVID during, like, prime years of developing in high school and, like, that really fucked me over. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't like to get too in deep with how COVID fucked me over, because it fucked over literally every single human being. No one didn't get, like, a bad scrap of something. Everyone got something. But it really did screw me over, and it was really bad timing. And I did not, I did not do the right things during COVID at all. Does 7 hours sleep good enough? It depends. Are you eating the good diet? Are you doing the right things during the day? There's this study that came out that said if you're eating red meat, your body has the ability to recover with less hours of sleep. So, hello, bro. How are you? I'm doing good. Are you tough? Stanley Kubrick had a movie called A Space Odyssey. It had many messages claiming the moon landing is fake. I saw something about movie that was talking about the moon landing being fake and like a bunch of secret Easter eggs or something like that. Same 1 year, only 1 year with Master Me. How it up? Do you know John McAfee is a great guy? I think he may even fake his death. Faked. Why are we making into anti-Semitism? I didn't say that. Yo, mask is mandatory for HIV viruses. You don't even know. I'm not even talking about HIV. I've not said one thing about HIV. I've not said one thing about HIV. Yo, why haven't you told the story? Do you guys want the story? I might tell it. People really think everything the government do to cover the files. Didn't they release all the files? What do you guys think about the Tates being arrested, but the file is still not fully, like the people on the file still not being arrested? I had COVID in elementary school. What the, holy shit, what the fuck? I hated online school. I was a good student and hated my classmates for not doing work and getting the same grades as me. It was good to do a backflip. The moon landing wasn't faked. People are genuine idiots. What I love is the moon landing, how people are like, it was faked. People are so stupid. Or it wasn't faked. People are just genuine idiots. It's like both people are so convicted in their thoughts about the moon landing. Also, Epstein, show the forehead. That's crazy part. I didn't believe the professors are really checking anymore on Reddit. There's tons of people showing the professors using AI for discussion, email responses. Okay, but people did die of COVID. I know 2 people that died, and I was completely fine with missing out on school experience if it meant preventing the spread of that to my peers. Oh, I'm completely opposite. I completely disagree. First off, for the most part, people also died of the flu every single year. And if you want a fun research thing, go look up flu deaths compared to COVID deaths for all the years, and you'll find that in 2021 and 2020, or 2021 or 2020, all the flu deaths were put to the COVID deaths. And for whatever reason, the flu deaths were at an all-time low, and COVID deaths were at a high. Very, very interesting there. I didn't know anyone that died, but I know people that went through it for sure. But for me personally, fuck no. Nothing is gonna ever take away from that. Taken away from my high school experience at all. Elementary would have been fine to take away. Elementary or middle school, hell yeah. No, but high school, fuck no. Developing years, being social, like starting to talk to girls, romantic experience, no, never. Never will that strain of what it did to me, I will never like forgive. I'm not saying that it's completely not my fault. There's definitely things that are my fault. But regardless, no, hell no. There was so much development socially that I lost because of that, especially in dating, because I had just hit puberty and actually became good looking and was able to date, and then COVID hit right then and there, and I wasn't able to. It was very, very frustrating for me. So no, I have completely different mindset. I don't think they should have taken away my high school experience like that, and I feel bad for people that they took away for a scam like that. Completely unacceptable, And I don't like to get into the victim mindset too much, but I'm completely against that. Tell the story, show us your forehead. Okay, I'm going to tell the story, okay? God, I'm going to tell the story. I don't think that was something for control. I think they took it as an opportunity to control. I'm not saying it like they made it happen for control. I'm saying they saw it and they're like, oh, this is an opportunity to get more control. They did not release all the files. They heavily redacted them. They didn't release the majority of them. I always tell them to wear clothes, but haven't got freckles. Show his forehead. This guy show off his lean body. I don't know what he's getting at. I did not know anyone dead of the flu. Sid, okay. So, okay, story. Lots of people died from flu. Only 7 million people died. They made big crisis and claimed 100 million died, bro. I know, it's absolute bullshit. Biggest scam ever. And the funniest thing is, I don't know much about, I don't know as much education on it as, a lot of the other people that are, agree with me. But I know, what I notice is when I talk about it, I seem to know more than a lot more people than I thought. But it's not the hill I'm willing to die on, the health but it's kind of connected. Please, bro. Okay, I'm going to tell the story. You happen story. Good. Okay. You're so gorgeous. Oh, my love. This is compliment. Love the freckles on your shoulders. All right. Do you believe that vaccines cure COVID or that was faked? I don't think it was faked. I think they didn't do enough research on it. And I don't think a healthy 18-year-old needed the vaccine at all. And I think there's a lot of, bad things that are happening because of because of the lies that the vaccine spread. I mean, there are healthy like young men that are literally getting heart attacks. I mean, you could say that the COVID vaccine literally is like hurting people, and that's selfish to bring it out to people and hurt people. That's like fucked up. You could say that. You wouldn't trade missing romantic experience with the girls in high school for people that died. Nope. It has nothing to do with people that died. I feel like calling it a scam is kind of unaware of. No, that's not what's happening at all. That's a horrifying way to look at it. Completely incorrect. You're doing the exact thing I say I hate, which is putting words into my mouth, okay? So here's the thing. I am telling you right now, I don't control people dying. Me wearing a mask or not wearing a mask has nothing to do with people dying, okay? That doesn't make a difference, okay? Them being unhealthy or not and their ability to survive for a virus, that's on them, okay? It is what it is, okay? If you're old and you want to, hiding, go and do that. You're not going to fuck with other people's lives. This is something I've always been big on, to be honest. But again, it's not just about the romantic experience, it's about everything in general. Sports, too. I got my lacrosse season fucked. I started smoking weed every single day, and I shouldn't have done that. Again, I'm not going to blame the COVID on me smoking weed. I chose to smoke the weed. But again, if COVID never happened, I would have never smoked weed every single day. So it's not just about the romantic experiences. It's also about the fact that I'm addicted to weed now 24/7, too. There's a lot more to it than just that. That was one of the things. There's 10 trillion other things, too. You can't put one. There's 10 trillion other things. I'm addicted to weed now. I have dopamine fuckery going on in my brain. I missed out on a lot of romantic experiences that doubled emphasis on me having to double down on all these different things. It fucked up a lot of different shit for me. But even if all of those things weren't the case, I still have nothing to do with me. I feel bad for the people that got, missed out on their graduation, missed out on their proms, okay? I feel bad for a lot of people. I didn't get the worst of it at all. I did not get the worst of it at all. Some people got it way worse, 1 trillion%. But even if that is the case, I still think it's fucked up, and I don't like it, and I don't like that it happened. I don't like that it happened. I don't like what it did to me. I don't like it at all. That's my standing opinion. I'm going to tell the story now. Hi, what up? You can pee without... Okay. Why are you saying 7 billion is dead, not a big deal? Anyone dead should be a big deal. That is humanity. Okay. God. Oh, my God. I think we're done talking about this. This is something that I used to talk about a lot, and I chose to stop talking about it because it pissed me off so much. And I think we're getting back, and I feel like I feel like myself 4 years ago arguing with like a teacher about COVID and shit. You know what I mean? Because I used to argue with my high school teachers about this shit. Okay. And I think this is getting too much right now. I want to break up with you. I found out. Okay. Every rabbit hole is connected to the same nation. Yet, if you can talk against them, USA, they will jail you. Deep state. It never took, and I'm fine. Everyone in my family is the same. Hi, what up? Why do you think wearing a mask doesn't prevent the spread of sickness? Like doctors and hospitals wear a mask for a reason. I just don't understand what you're saying. I think it definitely prevents the spread of sickness, but I don't think it's, I don't think it's as effective as people say. Number one, like this idea that, if everyone wore masks, then, we would get to immunization. That's impossible. It's not true. So yes, obviously you can prevent it a little bit, but honestly, it's not people's jobs to do that, okay? Viruses are out there, flu's out there. There's viruses out there. Should we be wearing masks for the viruses out there currently? No, we don't do that. Okay, this is the thing. It's like they took one specific thing. Again, I don't want to talk about this too much because, again, I feel like 5 years ago right now. The ischemic heart disease killed 9 million people annually. Why don't we quarantine from that? Exactly. Great fucking point. That's the exact thing. Is like, I don't even have that much information about this, but with the small information I do, it's enough for me. Because I used to talk about this way more and I stopped because I hated talking about it. I'm just telling you my experience. Doctors wear masks during operations so they don't spread their germs to open human bodies in front of them. Yep. Hi, damn. Yeah, bro. Okay, normal germs, not COVID, you idiot. Winter Flower needs to understand a lot of people died from COVID. They had other conditions. That's very, very, very true. In fact, a person died in a motorcycle accident, had COVID, and they said he died from COVID. You guys know that? You guys know that? He listed them as a COVID death, even though he died in a motorcycle accident, had COVID. Had no symptoms of COVID, was completely fine, just had COVID in his system, and he died from a motorcycle accident, and they called it COVID death. It's a complete scam. I think you need to do more research. I'm being serious. I was super into this way before. Look up Fauci. You know what? I'm going to ask you guys your opinion right now. Fauci, a good person or a bad person? You will completely tell me your opinion and how much research you know. Is Fauci a good person or a bad person? That's what I want to know. And if you say good person, I know exactly how educated you are on this. Tell me if Fauci is a good person or a bad person. That's all I want to hear. And now I'm going to tell the story that you guys... do you guys still want to hear the story? It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I hate the COVID argument. It doesn't matter. Take it if you want. But if someone doesn't want to, you can't force them. Well, that's why I'm, pro-choice. Can't tell me what I can and can't do with my body. I think he was pressured, but not a good person. Definitely not a good person. Can Bill Gates know? Bill Gates fucking sucks too. Fauci and Bill Gates. I swear to God, like, honestly, I'll be real. Bill Gates and Fauci, if you said, all right, I'm giving you a legal opportunity to physically hurt both these people, and if you can do a 1v2 against them and win the fight, then they both die and are gone from the earth, I would accept that. And I would end both of them. 1 trillion %. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world, you know, but that'd be interesting. I play guitar. There's any songs you think Bill Gates is evil villain, bro? Bill Gates definitely a villain. Bill Gates, bad dude. You guys should look him up. Bill Gates creates lab-grown meat. He's evil. What's the hate with Bill Gates? He sucks. He's the worst, bro. Everybody should join Team Sunny right now. I just got here. What's up, bro? No shit. No, the reason that Bill Gates sucks so much is because apparently he tried to like put specific things like in the air or whatever, like something he put, like he felt he had the right to basically put something in the air to like change people's DNA or something. But he's, in his justification in his brain, this is good for humans, so he's okay with doing it, which is like the most disgusting thing anyone could do. Chemtrails, no. Chemtrails is a whole different thing. Chemtrails are like, you know, what planes, you know, let out. You know, it's just bad for the environment. You seem like the type of guy to think you can land a plane in an emergency situation with no co-pilot or autopilot. No offense. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a lot of confidence when it comes to planes. I'm gonna be real. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'll definitely give it a fucking shot. You know what I mean? But if you were to actually look at a plane setup and all the buttons, I've looked at it before. There is literally like 200 different buttons, 200 different controls. So it's not like GTA where, you know, you press A and you just can fly a plane like that. You know, it's a whole, like, flying a plane is a whole different thing. And obviously, for the most part, 95% of the buttons don't even need to be touched. That's probably what's going on. But I think it would be... I'll tell you right now, if no one would be down to do it, I would 1 trillion % do it. You know what I mean? Because well, here's the thing. Like, you're better off like doing something than doing nothing. This is always a fact about life. Like, raw action's always the answer. So like, people are like, oh, there's nothing you can do. Like, no, there's not nothing you could do. Like, if you believe that like a plane was going down and everyone was freaking out and like no one was going to the control, you think I'd give up? Fuck no. No, I'm going to that goddamn control and I'm trying to land that plane. If no one else is doing it, but honestly, what I try to do is I try to find the guy. I'd be like, is anyone really good at this? Does anyone like kind of know what they're doing? Does anyone, you know what I mean? I'd try to like find the guy that knew what he was doing, or try to wake up the fucking pilots or whatever. You know what I mean? But I don't really know. It's the pilot thing. I just have no confidence because there's so many buttons I have no idea about. Chemtrails, you mean? No, yeah. Winterflower, just because people don't agree with you doesn't mean they don't know what they're talking about. Bill Gates, the Clintons, there's a bunch. Well, I'm just telling you right now, like the Fauci thing. I genuinely think you need to look up Fauci, and if you think Fauci's a good person, you are wrong. I'll stand by that. I'll die on that hill. If you think Fauci's a good person, you are incorrect. It's not even an opinion. It's a fact at this point. It's like thinking, you think, you know, Hitler, even though that opinion has somehow changed in the media, you know. Bill Gates, Clintons, there's a bunch. I saw something that Hillary Clinton was getting asked about something about some crazy shit about Bill Clinton's involvement with the Epstein thing, and she was so sketchy. She's like, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything that I don't know anything about. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, what the like, Hillary Clinton is the worst of the worst. Like, she is the sketchiest sketchball. You know what I find hilarious? Like, women hate Trump so much, feminists hate Trump so much. I understand why. There was literally about to be 2 female presidents. He destroyed both of them. I understand, you know? Like Billion from Springfield, it's Rothschild, real life. Okay. Bill Gates wants to GMO food to be birth control in underprivileged countries so he can commit genocide and thinks he's a good person for it. Yep, handsome. Most of the time, they don't need to be touched, but if something happens, there's a button for it. Yeah. We were talking about Bill Gates committing a possible genocide, but Israel hasn't been brought into the convo. Oh, man. Oh, man. What do you even say about that? What do you even say about that, dude? Dude, it's been something, man. I can land a plane. I ain't that hard. Buttons ain't matters. Just stick to the wheel. 9% buttons don't matter. Yes, I do agree with that. What do you guys think about the Tates getting arrested? I was stewardess for 6 years. Did I tell you I almost got kicked off a plane? My last flight? You know what? This will be a good story. Nah, it's much harder. When did I say that? Japanese umpire turned soldiers into pilots. Jake, I didn't defend Fauci. No, I got you. I'm just saying in general. Like, I'm saying for the general public of humans, you guys need to look up Fauci and understand what the fuck's going on with this guy. So, the plane situation. My last flight was no bueno. So, here's what happened. So, everything's going perfectly fine, right? And you would get kicked out of the plane, bro. I know I would. And I've talked about this before. I would just want to fly private. But anyway, get on this plane. Everything's going perfectly fine, which is good because I hate flying. And then there's a delay. There's a massive delay, right? Which bothers me so much because I have everything planned out. I have timing, obviously. I hate delays. So it's like an hour delay or whatever. So I'm like, okay, but they're making us wait here for the delay and saying, like, we almost can't go. They're like, oh, we might not be able to go, shit like that. So I'm getting pissed. And then they're like, I'm like, oh, I really need to go to the bathroom right now. But what if they say we have to go and I'll just wait it out? And I'm like, no, I really have to go to the bathroom. I swear to God, right when I say that, they go, all right, we're going to get going right now. Like, everyone put on their seatbelts. And I was like, all right, let me go to the bathroom really quickly. And then I know that people are waiting, and I hate to make people wait. It's my biggest pet peeve. So I'm like, all right, let me go to the bathroom really quickly. And then the guy's like, do you really need to go to the bathroom? And I was like, yes. Are you serious? And so I'm like about to go to the bathroom, and like, of course, I got pressure on me now to go to the bathroom. So like, I can't go, and he's like knocking on the door. So then I'm like, fuck, I just can't even go to the bathroom because I got all this pressure on me. They're knocking on the door. I don't even know if I'm supposed to. I don't want to get in trouble or whatever. So I get pissed. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I'm not gonna go to the bathroom. I'll just wait it out. So then I'm like pissed, and I slam the door. I'm like, you guys are like fucking. And I said a slur, I think. I remember maybe saying that. And I was pissed, and I just sit back in my chair, and I'm just sitting there just mad. And he just walks up to me, and he goes, are we gonna have a problem? In the most like disgusting energy, like I felt so disgusted by this human being. I'm like, just fuck you. And I look at him and I go, no, we will not, sir. You know, like I was very respectful because I'm like number one goal, get to the place. You know, you're not gonna, and I also don't want to fuck up anything for anyone else. You know what I mean? The last thing, these people are waiting, the last thing I want to do is be that guy. So I sit there and be like, nope. I lay in my chair and I just close my eyes. And then, you know, he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. And then the entire time I'm thinking, I was like, should I walk up to that guy and ask him he owes me an apology? I never did it. And I was like, I should have. But what really pissed me off, I forgot to tell this part of the story. What really pissed me off was we were about to take off. Okay, sorry, this is a very important part of the story because it was why I was so mad in the first place. So we're waiting for the delay, and then we're about to take off, and then we're literally about to go, and then there's a scorpion. So then this lady freaks out and screams on the plane, like bad screaming, like bloody murder. So of course, when we're about to take off and the scorpion is like, people are freaking out and shit, You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking, I was like, if we just could just kill that scorpion really quickly, then they're not going to stop the flight because they're going to stop the flight because they're going to see it. And boom, they stop the flight. They're like, oh, we heard that there's a scorpion, so we have to stop the flight. So now we have to wait an extra hour. And I was so mad because I was like, oh my God. So because this person saw a fucking scorpion. So I get really bothered when, like, I know for a fact that a specific thing could have happened, but because of one stupid thing, it didn't. Like someone like holding up a big thing of traffic, like one person holding up a big thing of traffic. I get really bothered with that. I get really bothered with one person making everyone's life 10 trillion times harder. I get really bothered with that. So the fact that she screamed and made the plane like stop pretty much because everyone freaked out and we could have easily killed the scorpion, easily been done. We killed the scorpion, we got it, and that was done. But now we have to wait an extra hour. So I was pissed. I was like, now I need to go to the bathroom because I'm super pissed. And I got more mad because now I'm getting pressure to not go to the bathroom because now we're going all of a sudden, even though I waited the entire time. You guys can see why I was angry. But yeah, there we go. Okay. All governments are corrupted today. Well, I screwed a few pilots that told me otherwise. I don't know. Okay. What's going on, brother? Hi, what up? I'm retired fighter pilot. Okay. You would get kicked off the plane, bro. Yeah. Tate's got arrested for sexual assault, and yep, stuff is insane. Didn't they claim he trafficked girls? Why did it take so long then? You know what was the big fuck up for him, Tate, that he cannot get out of? In one of his videos, he's talking about his girlfriend, right? And he's saying, you know, Vivian or whatever. And he's saying his girlfriend, who's 21, and he's saying he's been with her for 6 years. I don't know if you guys are great at math, but 21 minus 6 is 15, which means that he was literally dating a 15-year-old, which, if you guys know, the consent age in that country is 16, so it's illegal. And he, you know, maybe he didn't realize he was saying that, maybe he didn't care, but that's what happened. Israel versus Islam. Now he's saying that he'll come to middleweight. Honestly, Israel versus Islam would be insane because think about what you just said, the words you just said. Anyone that would hear that would be like, whoa, is that like a war in the Middle East? That's like, the fact that we're talking about two fighters right now that are not from either of those countries is hilarious. You know what I mean? Do you like Leonardo DiCaprio? Not really, to be honest. He has some good movies. What are you talking about? So what does religion have to do with this? He's not, that's what I'm saying. He's talking about fighting, and people think he's talking about religion. That's hilarious. I called that. He literally thinks he's talking about religion. Dude, this is the funniest miscommunication I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And I called it before. This is hilarious. This is the funniest miscommunication I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Who the fuck talked about religion? This is literally the funniest miscommunication I've ever seen in my entire life. You said Israel versus Islam. Yeah, so Islam said he wants 3 belts. Yes, fighters. Israel Adesanya is a fighter from Nigeria, I'm pretty sure. And Islam Makhachev is a fighter from Dagestan. These are 2 UFC fighters. We're not talking about Israel, the country, and we're not talking about Islam, the religion. I know that's why it sounded like that. That's why it was a hilarious miscommunication. No one can beat Dagestanis. John Pork's fighting. I'm excited for that. Oh, you mean Islam Makhachev. Yeah, never mind, bro. Yeah, I read that wrong. Oh, hi again, might be, bro. Here's the thing. I promise I feel that disgusting feeling almost every single day, but as a girl and kind of shy, I never act on it. Just got to get locked in and not reacting. What feeling was I talking about? I'm sorry. I went way too fast. Hi, because sometimes getting mad just can't help anything, and you just got to lock in. True, bro. Do a backflip, bro. It's insane, I know. Tate looks like Prince Charles. He is a time traveler. Why does it look like you're lip syncing? I don't know. I like turtles. Are you esports athlete because you look like a gamer? No. What the fuck? That's a diss. That's rage bait and a diss all in one. Basketball stream then? Oh, maybe at some point. I did that on purpose. I saw it coming. Bro, I know nothing about fighting. It sounds so funny. What do you mean John Pork is fighting? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Because there's this guy that is from Dagestan and he looks like a pig. And they call him John Pork, even though his name's like Chenko. He doesn't like it, but it's hilarious. All right, one second. I'm going to go. My legs are so sore right now. My bad. Holy shit. It's Jonko. Or yeah, my bad. Sorry, Jonko. John Pork versus Tim Cheese would be a crazy matchup. Oh, where'd he go? He went to the moon. I went to the moon to prove that it's real. FBI opened the door, went to the washroom. That's Canadian. He went to find out if the moon landing was real. Where you gone, bro? He used Super Saiyan powers. Why mustache is growing out for first time? If you shave it, it will grow back worse? What? So what do you recommend? I'll do the opposite of whatever you recommend to me. Thank y'all for the subs. We're going to hit 14,050 subscribers hella soon. Yo, Jake, you feel like a brother to me. The way you talk about different stuff on this YouTube channel. Hell yeah. Trying to help y'all out, of course, always. That's $1 just because you've been drinking syrup, probably. Yes, I've been on the syrup grind. And I went on a syrup rabbit hole. So I learned how syrup's made, where you put like a little cork in a tree and collect the sap, then boil it down. Also, Canada has one of the biggest syrup. Like, apparently they produce like 80% of the world's syrup. And there was a syrup heist in 2012 where they stole syrup. Crazy. Jake, I sent you my GOAT list on Instagram since yesterday you said I was wild for putting Khabib as 11. Yo, who's sending me stuff on Instagram? I have people sending me stuff on Instagram, like DMing me like videos and stuff. There's people out here that are sending me stuff. And I rarely react to it. Unless you send me some funny ass shit. Then I'll give you a little laughing emoji. Bro, have you taken your dinner? I have not had dinner yet, no. Do you play fantasy football? No, I haven't in a little bit. I used to every single year. I literally fell just then. Fell? That was me. You remember me? I'm that one guy that said you did know troll is troll because trolling is from a troll, okay? Did I watch the video about the syrup heist? Dude, it's crazy, dude. And you want to know something funny? I was down a rabbit hole. Apparently, the syrup heist was a video I had already watched some of it. Because I looked, and it was literally like 4 minutes in. So apparently, at some point in my life, I had watched the syrup heist and without even realizing it. I was like, oh. Because I used to, you guys know the YouTube channel, The Richest? That used to be one of my best forms of information. I would learn so much on that YouTube channel as like a kid, because they had good shit. You watch them? Khabib is better than Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. None of them can do any wrestling. I saw someone say, like, who do you think will win in a street fight, John Jones or Mike Tyson? And I was like, bro. Like, I love Mike Tyson, but first off, how the hell is Mike Tyson going to be able to reach John Jones and get that knockout power before John Jones does some sort of wrestling or jiu-jitsu that Mike Tyson has literally zero experience? I don't think Mike Tyson, as great as he is, has ever did an armbar or a guillotine or like a freaking, like all these different jiu-jitsu moves. I don't think Mike Tyson's ever even done them. How do you expect the second that the fight goes to the ground, which it's gonna do because you're fighting against John Jones? I don't understand. Like, unless Mike Tyson gets some crazy first like knockout punch with like hands in the eyes and he pokes the eyes a little bit, because it is a street fight, so you can do whatever. At the end of the day, I don't know. That's interesting. I was on the other stream. Oh, you're the most underrated streamer on YouTube. I know you're going to be huge sooner than later. Oh, thank you. I will send you reels. Yeah, I mean, you guys can send me reels. Hi, I'm new on this live. What's going on, man? What up? Sup? Greg Doucette is peak Canadian male. Greg Doucette is, you know what? He's kind of needed, Like, I'm not saying I like Greg Doucette, but he's kind of like the janitor. He does dirty work. No one really cares. It's kind of disgusting. It's kind of gross, but like, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. So that's the thing is like, The amount of people that make fun of Greg Doucette while also watching all of his videos is probably the highest, like, ratio. Like, Greg Doucette probably has the highest ratio of people that make fun of his videos while also watching his videos. If you look at Greg Doucette's comment section, it's all, I'm Greggy my Doucette right now. My Greg is so Doucetted. Oh my gosh, my Greg, oh my gosh, I can't control my Greg. Like, it's crazy, the comments. Like, it's all just, you know, trying to make jokes, just messing around, dark, like, it's insane. Yeah, I hope Khabib is the better wrestler than Ali and Tyson. They're both boxers. Sup, bro? Okay, it's New Zealand. Hell yeah. Bro, you know the best site for shooting practice in America? I do not. I've never actually went. Jones versus Aspinall? I don't know. Jones? Do you need to shave? No. You look like Steve Buscemi? No. He looks like Vin. Okay, all these things that you're saying I look like, I don't. Tyson could KO Jones, but he gotta come close, which ain't gonna happen. Yeah. Chael Sonnen was 27 seconds away from beating John Jones. Chael Sonnen is interesting. I'm watching Ultimate Fighter right now, and first, I already am all the way up on the season with Daniel Cormier and Michael Bisping. So actually, the new episode's out now, so I'll watch it tonight because I want to see these two girls fight. And I never watch, literally, I never watch like any girl fights. I don't find it interesting at all. And then, honestly, the way that they were promoting it, I was like, low key, I want to see these girls fight. Like, I want to see who's gonna win. Like, you know, you see some funny reels from Lasagna Del Rey. That's me. Oh, I'm jaking my, what the fuck? I'm milking my Israel. You're my favorite LGBT streamer. Don't date a girl under 19, okay? What the fuck kind of statement is that? What the fuck? First off, what kind of statement is that? Look, 18 is legal, you know, at the end of the day. Moral, you know, why'd they just end my stream? I hate that. I hate that they do that, dude. I hate when they just end my stream. So disrespectful. Just making sure. I'll date an 18-year-old. I don't care. It's legal. I don't give a fuck. I literally do not give a fuck. Also, I look young as fuck. Like, no one gives a fuck. You know what I mean? If I look like an old motherfucker, then people be like, guy's a little creepy. But no one gives. Yeah, no. My only mindset with that is just don't do anything illegal. No glaze. Chael Sonnen is one of the best of all time. He whooped Silva, who's won 14 fights, win streak 4 rounds. I find it hilarious, Chael Sonnen's attitude, because he talks so much shit that it's like, ugh. And then you expect him to always make a joke. And then he does. And he doesn't sometimes. And then he's like emotional. It's like, like, is he going to be like emotional? Is he trying to be like motivational? Or is he like trying to make a joke, you know? What if the legal age was 16 though? Nah. No. No. Ugh. That's a little gross. Nah, I'm just gonna stay with the legal 18 and just that'll be my hill to die on, you know. I'm not gonna change my opinion for that. I'm not gonna go any lower. I'm not gonna go any higher. I'm gonna keep it at 18 and keep it at that, you know. You want to date 18-year-old? Nah, I mean, the thing is, like, you assume that the benefit would be that they have less partners, which is unfortunately not really super true. Like, it's not a guarantee. Like, you'd assume the benefit would be, if I'm dating this girl that's a little bit younger, don't have a lot of partners, you know what I mean? Either pair bonding receptors aren't as fucked, you know? But the raw reality is they could be 18 and have way more experience than a girl that's in her early 30s, you know what I mean? You have no idea. Everyone has different times when they bloom or whatever. So, for me, I really want to date a girl that I like. If she happens to be 18, then it is what it is, you know what I mean? But I really just want to find a girl that I really, really enjoy. You know, that's where I'm at. I actually do give a fuck. All right, what do you give a fuck about? Can you say happy birthday to my uncle? No. Yeah. Yo, what up, bro? You cross-eyed? Apparently. Jake, question, what is the older and 18-old should date? What do you think? What? Wait, what is the older an 18-year-old should date? Look, my thing is the same thing. 18. It's gonna stay. It's gonna stay that way. It's going to stay that way. Like, I am not changing that. I am not going any lower. I'm not going any higher. That is my rule. But for me, I don't really give a fuck. Okay, like I'm just more like, my brain's more just like, how compatible are we? You know, do I have an emotional connection with you? You know, these are the questions I'm asking when analyzing a girl. If you're British, then yeah. Yeah, not for me. Okay, good job, bro. This isn't something I should be praised for, okay? This is purely my dating dynamics. A human brain isn't fully formed until you're 25. The age of consent should be 25. See, if everyone did it that way and that was the rules, then, you know, abide by the rules. But unfortunately, that's not the case, right? And, you know, it is what it is. Maybe once you're 30, go higher than 18, though. Well, I just think that's weird, honestly. Like, not even, like, I'm not even, like, morally, like, oh, that's wrong. I'm more like, I don't know how how you enjoy that. It depends. I don't know. Maybe I'm, you know, in a committed relationship by then. I don't really know, you know? I don't really know what my, you know, future self is gonna think. Right now I'm at a point where I'm enjoying my dating life. I enjoy the girls I'm dating right now. You know, my dating life's way better than it was 2 years ago. So right now I'm kind of just enjoying my life, you know? Nah, if a girl is trying to date a lot older, that means she probably has a lot of experience. Actually, bingo, 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 fucking bingo, fucking facts, 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 facts. Facts, facts, facts. That's why you can't be like, oh, just because they're younger, all of a sudden it's like better. You know what I mean? You would like to think that way, but it's honestly just not true. Like, the truth is, if they're going for an older guy, sorry to tell you, but there's a chance they might be attracted to older guys, and there's a chance they already were with an older guy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Sorry to tell you. Oh my God. Jake, remember how we have the same birthday? It's crazy. September 11th. My birthday's coming up soon, too. Not a single thing will be celebrated for that. What's your birthday? September 11th. Dude, the age of consent should be biological 25 because that's when your brain's fully developed. I mean, you can go off and do your life like that. Go ahead. You know what I mean? If you think that's morally correct, then you can go and live your life like that. Just do your thing, man. You know? Yo, I know, but I'm asking what's the honest, an 18-year-old should date 23 max? I think it depends on what you want, man. Like, I'm not really the, like, judge over here for dating at all. In fact, I'm not. That's not my role at all. That's not what I do. I don't judge if the dating dynamics for people are good, okay? If you ask me my opinion on my dating dynamics, I can give you that. But I'm not going to tell you what I think is good for other people. Because, you know what? I'm sure that there's an 18 and 23-year-old that has a really shitty relationship. I'm sure there's an 18-year-old and 23-year-old that has a really great relationship. So, you know, you can't really make these opinions that it's like, oh, one or the other. You don't really know, man. You don't really know. That's not how it really works, though. It is, though. Any thoughts on Anne Frank, bro? Bro's looking at the chat screen at the same time. Here's the biggest issue with the whole, like, changing the consent number to age 25. You're also basically saying that, you know, if they can't consent, they also can't buy alcohol at 25. Now, imagine telling a bunch of, you know, younger girls and guys that they can't buy alcohol at the age of 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Imagine what they'll tell you. Same thing that the 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds did when they told that they can't buy alcohol at 21. They got it anyway. You know what I mean? I'm back. Just date yourself. Okay, Winter, you think 28 is max for 18-year-olds? Okay. I don't think there's a number max. I think it's dumb to have a number max, okay? I think, like, just, like, we're people. We're not numbers. You know what I mean? Now, imagine if someone, like, fucked up said that, though. Like, a priest said that to, like, a little kid. Everyone would be like, whoa, what the fuck? This guy's a fucking creep. Fuck this guy. You know what I mean? He's like, we're not numbers. We're not people. Age doesn't matter. Like, whoa, this guy's fucking weird. Fuck this guy. You know what I mean? But, yeah, like, it is true. Like, we aren't. Like, we should try to, you know, when it comes to dating and dating's all legal, I think it's more important to focus on how much you guys like each other. In fact, when it comes to dating, that's the most important thing. How much you guys like being with each other. That's the number one most important thing. You guys like each other? You guys like being together? You guys like being with each other? That's the most important thing by far. Happy birthday early, real, yeah, our birthday coming up, twin, little wish, happy birthday, thank you. Bro's looking at the chat screen at the same time. Is it illegal? If it's illegal, then do it, bro, nobody cares. Are you actually gay? Nope, straight. Basketball stream when? Okay, I know you keep asking for the basketball stream. I want to do it. I have basketball written in my stream, or in my notebook, so there should be a day where we do it. Maybe you gotta keep asking, be annoying about it, you know what I mean? Who cares? I didn't say it's a bad thing. Oh, that's my favorite video. I didn't say that's a bad thing. Like there's this video of this guy that's like, ooh, like you look like young or whatever, and he's like, you look like you're in high school or whatever, and then she's like, oh, and then he's like, I didn't say that was a bad thing, and then everyone's like, what? And it was hilarious, and it was like, what the fuck? Is that the video you're talking about? I can't stand these weird YouTube live streamers. Law ain't gonna stop me from sipping a beer. Exactly. Low-key, I don't think the moon landing is real, because how did they take that picture? I'm probably stupid, but it just doesn't make sense. I'm baby on 16, haha, 6'6", number of his name. Age doesn't matter for love. Brain fully developed at 25. Thing is average is not a great measurement. For example, Trump is 78 or some, and still brain isn't developed. Well, I think it's one of those things where it's like their brain is fully developed. It's just that's how developed it gets. Unfortunately, it doesn't get much. You know, like if their brain had more to develop, then it would have happened by now. So it's more that they just don't have much potential for development in the first place. Drive, creativity, and passion. Let's go. Passion. El pasión. Passion is number one, man. I love passion. True. I don't think the science of society is interesting, bro. On one hand, you can see a society where it's very low to you and another that is very high to you. And from their perspective, they think the same. Interesting. Okay, dude. I have a question for you, dude. Why is everyone asking you're gay? Also, guess what, buddy? I'm straight, and, just get that. Jake, do the shadow boxing. Did you write it in notebook? I did write it in the notebook, okay? Hi, what up? What's up, bro? Nice chain, thank you. What do you mean? How did they take the moon landing picture? With a camera, dog. Well, the reason that the people are against the idea of moon landing pictures being real is because, okay, so when you used to bring old film through, like, rate or metal detector, right? The radiation would mess up the film. So their question is how these old cameras with the film like that went through radiation, didn't get screwed over. The argument back is the same reason that humans were able to go through radiation, because the thing was built to block that shit, you know what I mean? So there's two arguments for that. That's why I love the moon landing thing, because I have both arguments. This is what I'm saying. The odds are I have more arguments for both sides than anyone in the stream. And I'm not saying that egotistically. I'm saying that in a just confident in my education of the moon landing. I have plans for tomorrow, getting through this nightmare with these like zombie like entity girls. I don't know what they are. I'm just doing a series. An idiot grows to be an old idiot. You don't get wise as you get older. Dude, it's actually one of the most frustrating things is to see an old person like stuck in their like bad ways of thinking. That's honestly one of my, like, it's kind of scary because it shows that you could get old and still have like this negative, like narcissistic, like not open-minded mindset. Like, you know how like some old people are very, just nice, polite, and not closed-minded, not like, they just have a very open-minded look into the world, very positive. Like when I see an older person not have that, it makes me very depressed, or feel depressed, I've been vaping since I was 16, still do it. Trump is dumb, but you know what at the same time. What is your biggest age gap for dating when it gets weird in your opinion? Why are these the questions, bro? What? I'm not the guy. I'm not your guy to answer these questions. I'm not the judge. You know what I mean? My thing is I stay legal and I just go on with my life. You know what I mean? Yes, it was a joke. I'm sure Trump's brain is at its full development, but it's not like suddenly mature as soon as 25. It's just an estimate. Yeah, and also everyone's brain develops at different rates. That's another thing too. And you could definitely become smarter and more intelligent and work out your brain and train your brain to be like, there's people that have taught themselves to read at the age of 40, you know? So there's some nuance to that. But I think it's funny that people love to use that specific study about your brain doesn't fully develop till 25 to like make so many arguments. Like your brain doesn't fully develop till 25, so you shouldn't do this, and that, and the other thing. It's like, okay, but there's also people that are in their 20s that became millionaires, that became Olympic medal people, that became World Cup winners, you know, Super Bowl winners. Like it's insane to think that, you know. Like rocket scientists, all the intellect or whatever. Like your haircut? Thank you. Alright, well, they sneak a camera on the moon and they take a pic. I don't know how it works. Sorry for asking damn question, giving an opinion. No, keep asking. Keep giving opinions. There are liberals 25 plus. That's where's their developed brain. Hello, I'm back. Subject. Okay. Of course, it isn't your brain doesn't click and suddenly mature at 25, but that's what someone with a lower age of consent could use as an excuse. Yeah, I like your haircut. Jake, when you gonna run for president? Never. I would never run for president. Horrible. Horrible. Do I want to die? Fuck no. Why is he always rambling? Because that's what I do. I'm playing, by the way. I think 18 is okay, though. Yo, bro, what's the bench? Bench, I've mentioned a long time. I do dumbbells, 85-pound dumbbells. I agree. Not necessarily. My brain has definitely developed. I was an idiot in 5th grade, and not just lack of knowledge, but lack of intelligence. But I think past, like, 30, that's just how their brain is. Weird, or at least a lot harder to change. But everyone's going great for me. I'm almost 100 subscribers. We can't hear you. Y'all can't hear me? My bad. You guys can hear me now? Do like no more than 5 years in the dating age gap. Dude, it depends on what you want, bro. Like, honestly, I don't care. If you're a 35-year-old guy and you're like, I am with this 23-year-old woman and she makes me the happiest I've ever been, do your thing, bro. I don't care. Am I trying to be like your best friend? Probably not. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be friends with a guy that's, 35 dating a 23-year-old. But I'm not like you're fucked up either. You know what I mean? I don't care. It just is what it is. About to piss me off. Not to what you were saying, to what they said. Once an idiot, always an idiot. Government, they all care about age. The age is age. Fuck government is going to say, but keep last age limit. But government keeps saying we need age limits all the time. Back there was no age limit. Well, I mean, back then, there was 45-year-olds marrying 8-year-olds. It was a whole different game. And I mean, in some countries, even on Earth right now, there's still 40-year-olds marrying 7-year-olds. Like, we know that in some of these religions that is being spread across the world, in the old scriptures, there's people dating, 9-year-olds. I actually asked about that, and I heard a very interesting excuse. Someone said that at that time, 9-year-olds were way more developed. First off, how the fuck does that work? That's bullshit. Doesn't make sense. Another person said, time was different back then. 9 years old was actually, like, really 17, 18. The fuck? That's one way to get out of it, Like, it's just very interesting. Okay. Will you be my cousin? I don't have any. What are you staring at? I think 18 is good, though. Just because a brain isn't fully developed, it doesn't not mean your brain is mentally lacking. Well, the funniest thing is, like, if you're going to tell men that they shouldn't, want a girl that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, or 25 because their, brains aren't developed, have fun telling those 18, 19-year-old, 21, 22-year-old girls that their brains aren't fully developed, so they shouldn't be able to live out their life, like go out, go to college, go do all these things. Like, imagine telling them that. This is the point. It's like you can make the excuse that, their brains aren't fully developed, but that means you also have to take away all the other things that they have rights to do. You know what I mean? And that's where it becomes illogical. So you either have to accept that their brains are fully developed and that's why they get these privileges, or accept that it's not and don't give them the privileges. But what you can't do is say, their brains are fully developed for this specific thing like drinking and voting, but their brains are not fully developed for something like consenting. That makes no sense at all. We can hear the whole time. Wake up. Okay, I have a girlfriend which is 45 years and I'm 30 years old. Good luck with that, brother. I don't know how the fuck that works. Age is nothing but a number. Pretty Ricky. Okay. You know, we always have fun. Okay, fine shit. Yes, it's important to have age limit. The child bride industry is terrifying. Yeah, low-key, that shit's scary as hell. I ain't gonna lie. Well, what did I just enter? Those people that say 9-year-olds were different back then need their hard drives checked. I know. I am Muslims. I know what you're talking about. Some scholars believe they had mentioning her name isn't full, and users use the fact that she is a prodigy to say that she was mentally mature. Bro knows what bro knows what I'm talking about. Brain not fully developed doesn't mean you can't make decisions, but you are much more susceptible to being manipulated, which people can take advantage of and do. But the funny thing is, I mean, we see people getting manipulated at the age of 30, 40, old people getting manipulated. People are getting manipulated till the day they die, to a certain extent. So that's why it's become so nuanced, because you know, you could say, oh, well, you know, it's an age where you're more likely to get manipulated. It's like, but people also get manipulated at the age of 30 and 40. Like, this idea that, you know, people, like, we already said, you know, people just finally figure it out and their brains finally develop. Like, no, some people stay idiots for the rest of their life, you know? They're never able to be not manipulated. They're never in their life going, like, there are women out here, 1,000,000,000%, that in their entire life they are going to be manipulated. And I feel bad because, you know, they're a feather in the wind. Maybe their life could go really well or maybe not. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that automatically means their life is going to be shit. You know what I mean? There's a chance their life could go really good because, again, it's just whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You know what I mean? Whatever they allow to manipulate them is going to happen. But that could be a good thing. Maybe they get manipulated by some guy that is really rich and, you know, is really good looking and, you know, they end up having a really good life. Even if she got manipulated, it's still a good experience. So, you know. Okay. But still, Al-Shur says the age of consent is 18 because she was a prodigy, not the same person of others, so 18 is mental net. So can you see the hearts? We pushed them in chat. Today, teenagers mostly more independent than. Is that true? I feel like they're more helicopter parents and less independent. Bro, I really love mature women, I'm straight up saying. Have fun with that, bro. They're out there speaking facts. It's true, people will always be manipulated, but I feel much more equipped to make my own logical decisions now than when I was 8. True. There's definitely a massive difference in maturity from 8 to, you know, like teens. And there's definitely a big maturity gap with like 15 and 18 and then 18 and 21. Like the maturity, like this is what I'm saying. Like when someone's like, oh, is 18 and 18 and 15 a good age gap? Like I say, fuck no. You know what I mean? Because that's like, you have to understand that 18 and 21 is so much different from 15 and 18. 15 and 18 is like completely different, like development, you know, physically and mentally. While 18 and 21, like some people kind of turn 18 and they never really learn anything after that. Like their development is over. Like they stay 18. They just stay thinking like an 18-year-old. You know what I mean? But there is always that like level of maturity between 15 and 18. That's definitely no bueno, you know? Y'all need to drop some more Spanish. I need to practice my Spanish more. What comes after 5 and before 8? Okay. There are many handifs that confirm she was physically mature and others that show her proving mental maturity in the Udav Hadith, others, so don't worry. I don't know, dude. If any woman is 35 to 47 mature, I love her, you know? Okay, well, have fun with that, bro. They're out there. But that is mostly from experience, and a lot of people don't learn from their experiences. Yeah, true. And there's not a lot of experiences to even go around for some people. Hi, I'm furry building. Okay, no. What, I'm nice. Can you see the hearts on the screen? What's up? I can. Would you say 9-year-old prodigy who could correct their literal elders and less mature than average 15-year-old? I don't know, dude. I don't know, bro. I don't know much about it, to be honest. I'm gonna be real. I really don't, you know. I know the very small information I have about it. I don't have those issues because I don't bother dating. Yeah, but I think not dating is hella depressing. I don't know. Unless you're hella on your goals, like you have such a good grind that it's so much more important, like a business or like you're in a like an athletic pursuit, like something like that. But if you're just sitting around and you're not dating, I don't understand that. Gang, what's up? What up? Can you try a backflip off couch? Hi, what up? Do you feel about the rest of that dude? I forgot his name. That dude you were talking about a few streams ago. Andrew Tate. What are our thoughts about Andrew Tate getting arrested, bro? What are our thoughts? Don't just learn from your own mistakes. Also learn from others' mistakes. I've been really invested in those around me and have experienced the results from their mistakes without having to. Exactly. Actually, be affected by them. I don't know if it's good or bad thing to feel other failures, but learning from them is valuable. You don't need to like, feel it like in the sense that like you feel like you failed yourself, but just, retain the information. You know how many fuck ups my brother did that I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I know to not do that. You know what I mean? You know how many times he messed up and I'm like, that, never again. I'll never do that. Or I don't even need to say never again because I never did in the first place, but I'll just be like, oh, I'm never going to do that. Boom, never going to do that. Like, I don't thank my brother enough for the amount of times he just took the fucking heat, as the older sibling because he just decided to do it first, So then I decided to not do it. How do you make money with YouTube? Bro, you gotta post consistently and get monetized, man. Bro, I have to go to Beverly Hills in Los Angeles and Miami, Florida. Hell yeah, let's go, South Florida. What's your type? My type? Depends. Looks or personality, How much have you made doing YouTube? That's private information for now. I've seen kids and teenagers or a lot hell smarter than me, but teenagers still will do teenager stuff like go party, smoke weed, and go high, like the same thing we do at the time. Well, not everyone's been doing that. A lot of teenagers really, I've noticed, don't do that as much from what I've seen. Hey, Jake. I think a person has to have a wake-up call before they could be a genuine person. An 18-year-old will never grow unless he has passed by a wake-up call. I think wake-up calls are important for humans. Yo, what up? Coming in on some wisdom. Hell yeah, Dean the Machine. What's up? Don't just learn from your mistakes. You're learning from other people to, hell yeah, let's go. What up? What's your type? Both looks and personality? Both looks and personality. All right, well, looks. Hot, athletic body, like a Pilates body, so not super muscular, but, lean. Skinny arms, but bigger chest, clear face, clear skin, and tan. I like a little bit of tan. And then personality, I like happy, I like nice, I like nurturing, I like feminine, I like peaceful. I like when they're not mean. I like when they're super, they compliment me well, when they boost my ego, when they're super nice and happy, and just, I like to describe them as a pocket full of sunshine, That's how I like to describe, the girls I deal with. Yo, coming on, okay, hi, what up? I'm not dating because I feel like I know very well the kind of person I want to find and can tell very quickly when someone is not that. Do you think I should continue dating just to get the experience or wait and improve myself so I can be the right person when I find them? I think you should do both. I think you should date around and try to meet as many people as possible while also extremely intensely trying to improve yourself as well. So it's not about this or that. It's about this and that, okay? There's no or. It's about and. So I think you should be doing both, I really do. I really do. I really think you should be focusing on getting in the gym, the self-improvement stuff, and also going out in public and meeting people and finding people that you resonate with. Not only just for relationships, but also just for, compatibility and just meeting people in general. Meeting people will never hurt, for the most part. By the way, bro, what you ate in dinner? I haven't had dinner yet. I'm a teenager and I've never smoked weed, vaped, or did drugs. And yes, I'm saying that as a flex. Honestly, good stuff. It is a flex at this point, I wish I was at that point. Why are there so many police around Miami Beach? I don't know. I don't hate police. I hate being around police. You know what I mean? There's also hella police around my areas as well. Do you know the difference between your and there and there and there? Very, very, very rarely, okay? Like, if you were to give me a multiple choice test on it, then yes. But I do not use it when I text, ever. I never think about when I text, never, okay? But there, and there, that one I'm a little bit more aware of than the your and your. But No, and one thing that does like annoy me for sure is you know, people that when I like text like, bruh, what was good? Like you can already tell my texts are like not not great English. Like I'm not trying to make it a fucking email, and they're like or like trying to do grammar corrects. I'm like, I'm not even saying words right now. Why are you trying to do grammar corrects? I'm saying, bro, what's good? Like I'm not even talking. Like this is how I text. Okay. I'm not Mr. Correction when it comes to texting. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm super against that. But yeah, I do know the difference more between the theirs, and the there than the your and the your. I will never do drugs. It's just bad for you. I'm never thinking either. Do you get huzz? Watch my most viewed streams. My type is a female, that's all. Yeah, not those IG girls. Oh yeah, no, the IG is definitely, well, the biggest issue is with the Instagram. I don't want to get into it, but there's a lot of issues, you guys know. What about Respukia? I don't know what that is. Hello, low-key men are better. Big, strong man while being a guy. Wait, what? Hey, can you teach me how to get muscle like you? Train hard, eat high-protein food. Do you enjoy math debating with kids or not? Math? What? What the fuck? No, that's weird. That's a weird thing to say. What the fuck? Nah. Bro, you say to date around while also improving myself, but if I can already know they are not in a relationship I wish to pursue, is that fair to them to keep entertaining it? Wait, but you say date around while also improving myself, but if I can already know they are not a relationship I wish to pursue, is that fair to keep entertaining it? Yeah, who gives a fuck? No one cares. I mean, I don't understand why you would like want to date someone that you know have no, like, it seems like to most people that would be a waste of time. For me, I actually understand it, but I don't understand how a girl could think that way, because I'm a guy, so I understand what a guy would think that way. I understand how a girl would think that way, because most girls, the way they look at it, like, it's a waste of time to hang out with someone and a relationship not come out of it. You know, they see it as a waste of time. You know, I don't see it as a waste of time at all. So, as long as you don't, you're not hurting anyone by doing that. You know what I mean? Except yourself, possibly. You know, if you date too much and then you end up pair bonding with too many people and then your pair bonding gets fucked. That's the biggest issue with dating too much, is your pair bonding gets fucked. Your dopamine gets fucked. Your experiences get fucked. You get too many experiences that the way to, like, form a connection with someone just is almost as impossible. But I will tell you, this idea that someone with like a higher body count instantly has worse pair bonding, that's not always true. Because you have to understand, some girls with a high body count, they're like one-night stands for the most part. And then there's other girls that have had multiple long-term relationships. Their pair bonding's way more fucked than the girl with a bunch of one-night stands. Because one-night stands isn't going to make a girl emotionally connected. It's a relationship that is. So that's something to keep in mind too. It's not like the number's always going to determine it, but it can give a good representation of it. A guy broke my heart because he cheated on me with an older girl. Yours something that belongs to you is you. Oh, sorry. Your is something that belongs to you, and your is you are. Yeah. Can you teach me? Whoa, why are we spamming? Chill. I get biceps like you, bicep curls, hammer curls, weighted chin-ups, and then also go on that lat pull machine with a like a row bar, and then do under grip, slow and controlled pull downs. Yo, you look exactly like my friend Jake. Will you be my cousin? What? Can you sing? Remember when I asked about your favorite movie and you said Dumb and Dumber for one of them? Yeah, I finally watched Dumb and Dumber 2. Thanks for reminding me to watch it. Oh, hell yeah. Well, did you watch the first one as well? Because the first one's so much better than Dumb and Dumber 2, just so you know. I hope you watched the first one as well, because if you didn't, I need you to watch the first one, okay? Because it's so much better than the second one. Bro, what's your state? I'm in Arizona right now. Do you like dinosaurs? No. I have, like, no, like, urge to like want dinosaurs or be near them. They're not like my vibe. I don't like that they have short arms. I think that's very not intimidating. The fact that kids have this weird obsession with dinosaurs is fascinating to me. Like, for whatever reason, every kid just loves dinosaurs. It's insane. I'm not into dinosaurs. I was never into it as a kid. All these like obsession with dinosaurs, like this psychological weird thing where kids love dinosaurs, never into it. I loved Batman. I had 8 different Batman action figures. Because I was also a kid that wasn't into action figures. I was a weird kid. I said things like I wasn't into toys because the idea of like playing with an action figure was fucking stupid to me, which is kind of true. It is stupid. You're playing with an action figure. But I will tell you, I remember specifically my bag of 8 different Batman action figures, all like different companies, and it was just 8 different Batman things. And I just loved walking around with it. And I remember needing to bring it to like, or not needing to bring it, but like I wanted to bring it to like this specific like person's house I was going to or whatever. And like, yeah. Dude, it's weird when you start thinking about shit and you remember things that are like, I don't know. Flex, okay. Hi, what up? Well, yeah, I watched the first one and I almost pissed myself from laughing so much. It's stupid to watch second one and not watch the first one, in my opinion. Yes, I agree. You know what? I remember this specific memory so well of me eating yogurt with the person in like pre-K at my house. And the person, and I was like licking like the like wrapper, with like you know, out like yogurt, like you take it and then there's yogurt on top of the thing, whatever. I remember the person being like telling on my mom and being like, he's licking the thing, like he can't do that, which is like hilarious because like, how you gonna snitch? But like we're 5, you know. But I remember this distinctly. My mom being like, no, he can do that. It's all good. Like literally just not giving a fuck, being like, he can do that. Like, no, we're all good. We don't, we can, you can do that here. And it was like, it was so interesting. Like, I think back to that, I'm like, wow. Like, imagine if I had one of those moms that was like constantly like, you can't do this, you can't do that for no reason. Like, you know those moms that tell you can't do things purely for the sake of telling their kid what to do? Hate those moms. Hate them. My mom was not like that at all. My mom was like, my mom was pretty good in the sense that like as long as you're here and you're controlled, like that's what's most important to me. Like my mom, the last thing she wanted for me was for me to be afraid to like tell her things or like try to like hide shit from her, because that's how you actually get in more trouble and how you could actually like be in a bad survival situation. Like my mom made it good where I could basically tell her anything, get out of any situation if I really needed to. You know what I mean? Like she made that pretty clear. So I think that's important. Do you like dragons? Yeah, I like them more than dinosaurs. Dumb and Dumber 1, hell yeah, hi, what up? T-Rex can spot you from 10 yards away. They are extremely fast. They can crush your full body with small amounts of jaw pressure, bro. Bro, we don't know if dinosaurs were fat. We don't know. No, we don't know. Here's the thing. We don't know what colors they were either. We assume, we don't know if they were hairy. All we know about dinosaurs is the bones. We know how big they were. We don't know how fat they could have been. We don't know if they were hairy. We don't know if they were like super slow. All we know is their bone structure. They could have been fat as hell, and we had no idea. They could have been freaking hairy. They could have been weak. We don't know. All we know is their bones. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I love Batman. Hell yeah. P, you look like a YouTuber that I know. Legos was the only best thing for a kid, and now they're so expensive. I know. Legos prices are the weirdest fucking thing. Very good for creativity, though, playing with Legos with no set instruction. Yep. Do you like dragons? I mean, yeah. Do you remember when you were born? Nope. I don't think anyone does. If anyone claims they do, I don't believe them. Or other blocks. Very good for kids' development. Yeah. Yes. Did you ever have a curfew as a teenager? No. My parents weren't like that. Like, I remember even asking, I was like, so, like, when can I, like, go, like, when can I be home? And they're like, well, it's not about that. It's about you texting us and making sure, like, before, the only reason curfews made sense before is because phones didn't exist. So it's like, get back by 10, you know what I mean? It's like, that's how it was before. Now phones exist. Now you can text and be like, I'll be back, you know what I mean? So curfews are old school for the most part. T-Rex can stomp you, so it's okay. They have tiny arms. Yeah, true. Do you think the Earth is flat? I do not. But I am very open-minded to the people that do think it's flat, and I love hearing their reasoning for it, you know? You guys are probably like, what the fuck kind of answer is that? Who answers it like that? No one thinks like me. No one. Not a single fucking person out there thinks like me. No one will sit there and be like, yeah, I think the Earth isn't flat, but I'm open-minded to hearing people talk about the Earth being flat. Like, just saying. Hello. We kind of do know because of their ancestors, but I see what you're saying. We can make hypotheses. You know, we can make hypothesis. You know what I mean? It's like saying we knew Pangea happened. It's like there's a lot of evidence that points towards it, but again, the farther human, like, I'll tell you this about history. The farther it goes back, the less accurate we are. The less accurate we are about anything. You know what I mean? Hypotheses. No, seriously though. Like, I will tell you, like, it's a lot easier to say what happened 100 years ago because so much more documentation out there from different sources. But it's a lot harder to say, oh, this happened 1 billion years ago. You know what I mean? It's a lot more difficult, you know? It's just this is just how science and history works. Do you like F1? No. Yep, I didn't have a curfew either. My parents were weird about the stuff. They cared about, like, no phone past 9:30, but I could stay out till 3 a.m. It was okay. Yep, my parents used to turn off the internet from my school computer from school. Only had school on it. Damn, that's crazy. Does he have a boyfriend? I am single and straight. Who's your favorite actor? I don't have a favorite actor at all. Yes, hypotheses. I'm very impatient person. Same. I don't even know what you're about to say, but same. So I would probably be pissed off when someone takes time trying to explain stupid shit to me. Well, here's the thing. Some of them have points that maybe the overall take might be rooted in a lack of information intelligence, but there's still some very compelling arguments. You know, meditate will give you patience. Yeah, I need to work on my meditations and, like, my spiritualism in general. Would you rather live in medieval Baghdad or Bohemia? I'd rather live in Baghdad in 1990s when I'm the son of a dictator. So then I have all the power to do whatever I want, and I would use it for good. I wouldn't do what a day did. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. I don't really know. I don't know what it was like medieval at that area. Dude, when I went down that rabbit hole, it was bad, dude. It was a bad rabbit hole. I was, like, genuinely bothered about a human that literally died, like, 20 years ago. Like, because, dude, it bothered me, man. I hated it. I hated the idea that a human had so much power and so much ability to do wrong against people, and there was nothing that could be done about it. Something about that just could never sit right with me. And I know that this has happened all throughout human history. Genghis Khan, all these different things. But for whatever reason, this, like, is so recent. You know, it was in 1990s. You know what I mean? That's recent as hell. You know what I mean? Some of you guys were born in the 1990s. Thank you for the gifts. Do you think people came from monkeys? The evolution theory is one of the most backed up currently. You know, there's a lot of evidence that points towards the fact that we evolved from monkeys. The fossils, the different skulls from different Homo sapiens or Homo erectus, or all these different forms of humans that didn't survive, but the Homo sapiens, us, did survive. There's a lot of evidence that points towards evolution being real and happening. So, yeah. What, rabbit hole? Oh, the Day Hussein rabbit hole and the Dom Hussein and all that. Go to Indonesia, caves, you will find your peace. Caves in general are very peaceful. When I went to a cave in Dominican Republic, I was like, this is beautiful. I mean, you guys can look at my Instagram pictures too. I literally have it. That was a legendary trip. It was great. But that cave, man, it was beautiful, dude. It was absolutely stunning, you know? Darkest retreat is when they put you in a room for like 2 days, total darkness is crazy. That would be crazy. I evolved from monkeys personally. If you think drinking is bad, stop thinking and drink water only. Okay, Saddam Hussein hiding spot. Hey, I give him props. I give them props for finding that hiding spot too. When they would have never found it if the guy didn't tell them and rat him out. I'm really conflicted if Saddam was bad though. He fought against Israel, and my grandma met him and got a gold Rolex. That's so hilarious. I mean, yeah, I'm sure these dictators, a lot of people love them because they did really good stuff for them. You know what I mean? They're loved and hated by many. Saddam was definitely not as bad as a day, okay? Because at the end of the day, Saddam only killed people for political power. You know what I mean? It wasn't just for the sake of killing like a day. A day just wanted to kill. He was a fucking freak. But you have to understand, Saddam Hussein, the legendary meeting, bro, when he goes on and says that there's been a political interference, and then he gets all the guys to stand up, and then they all walk up and then die. You get that legendary live TV. That's got to be insane to watch live. The fact that you find out this new guy is basically the dictator and he's killing all these people that went against him politically. That's got to be scary as hell. That's like us today going onto the news and watching Donald Trump get elected and then go against Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Hillary Clinton, and all these people, line them up and say, these people try to go against me in the political race and they need to be tortured for it. And then got them all and then hid them and then they all died. That is what it's like. That's literally the comparison of what happened in Baghdad in the fucking 80s, 90s in Iraq. That's what it would look like now. Would be Trump getting all of these extremely popular Democrats and saying, these people did a scam and they tried to make me not get elected and they are wrong for that and they're criminals. And then took them in front of everyone on live TV, sent them out of the place, and they were never to be heard from again. Their families don't know what happened to them. They were just tortured. That's what it literally happened in Iraq in the fucking 90s or 80s or whatever. What? Like, why does no one care about that? You know? Show your Saddam Israel, you ignore me. My dumbass was working out today, and I usually do 5 pull-ups, and my dumbass went, fuck it, I'm going to do 7 today, and I was on my last pull-up, and I scratched my palm, and it was bleeding for 3 minutes. That's great. That's perfect. That's literally, that's one of the highest forms of dopamine you can get. Doing more than you previously did, improvement, getting stronger, you're more, you're more of a weapon, you're more of a human weapon, more unbreakable. Also, your hand was bleeding. You get a nice scar that you might have for who knows how long, for the rest of your life, hopefully, that represents your hard work. You know what I mean? That sounds like a beautiful situation. Fuck with the goatee. Thank you. Have it up. We invaded Iraq for the DNA of Gilgamesh, who is also Normad, or Nim. That was the weapons of mass destruction. Look at when the tomb of I'm sorry, I'm not saying that right, was found when he was invaded. Bro, when you sleep, never. Didn't Baghdad fall in February 10, 1258? I'm so confused. Yeah, but it came back by the same people. Okay, so Genghis Khan took over Baghdad in 1258, I'm pretty sure. But those people that took it over started they started practicing the same culture that they took over. So it came back. I'm not 100% sure if that's true. I saw some shit on Khabib's story talking about that. You know, I don't know if it's true or not. You look so energetic. I'm not. I'm tired as hell. I think it would be interesting for you to learn or read about religion, not to convert, but it is very intriguing to learn what most people live their lives by or claim they live their lives by. And you can find parts you want to believe for your own life and spirituality. Also, it can help be educated when people are trying to debate you. And true. I'm not lying, bro. My grandpa did meet Saddam. I believe you. I believe you. My grandpa was veteran from Yom Kippur War. He used to fight for it. No, I believe you. I'm just saying, just because, you know, some guy gave, you know, your grandpa a watch doesn't mean that they're a good person. It means, you know, maybe they gave that watch because he was on your side. He was on the side. Like here's the thing. If you actually watch the guy, okay, so there's this person that wrote a book on this entire situation. It's called The Body Double. It's the body double for Ade Hussein, okay? It was this guy that was basically forced to be Ade Hussein's stunt double to basically take all of his bullets for him, pretty much. Saddam Hussein basically took him as his own kid and was like, look, I look at you like my son, basically. Like, look, I know that, like, you're doing this and, you know, like, you're obviously taking the hits. Like, I look at you like my son. So he gave him a lot of good stuff. So you can see in the documentary and the interview, he's talking about, like, Saddam Hussein as, like, a good person that's, like, very giving, very rewarding, very respectful to his soldiers and his allies. And the whole thing about Saddam Hussein was the reason that he did so good was because he was good at making connections. So this guy probably had a really good personality. You know what I mean? He probably had a really good, vibrant personality that got a lot of people to get on his side. Obviously he did. If he got people to literally fucking overtake this shit and he literally became dictator, obviously he had good influence, you know? So, yeah. I'm not saying that you didn't get he didn't get the gold watch. I'm saying just because he gave a person a gold watch does not mean he's a good person. Buddhism, intriguing ideas. Tomorrow was the schedule? Not, of course not, though. Yeah. Bro, most brutal betrayal ever in history of the world is what Israel do with Gaza people. How are you so smart, genuinely? Tell me your ways. I need to learn this shit. True, and impatient as fuck, but this is worth it. Well, I would say there's definitely a genetic component to it. But honestly, I think it's just the ability to be open-minded. And I'm going to tell you a really weird thing that might help out with intelligence. And this is going to sound so weird. There is a theory that you are wrong about everything, right? The odds that you're right about anything is 0, okay? And this theory goes off the idea that, well, think about it. 2,000 years ago, we thought we were right about everything. Turns out we were wrong about literally everything. So why not 2,000 years from now, we're going to think the same thing. We thought we were right about everything. Clearly we were wrong. Or 10,000 years or 1,000,000 years, how wrong we can end up being about things. So you kind of have to have the mindset that the odds that you're wrong about things are basically 100%, and the odds that you're right about anything is 0. Meaning there's always a better answer that could be made, a better argument that could be made. So, and it's very difficult because some people are like, well, 1 + 1 is 2. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Like, I understand that point. But, you don't know. Maybe 1,000,000 years from now, there's a better answer. You know, maybe it's around the same thing, but there's a better way to describe it or a better way to talk about it, or there's a hidden meaning. This is the thing, is we don't really know. You know what I mean? So that's, I would say, is one of the best strategies is to be open-minded as hell. Is the idea is the truth is there's a small chance that you're right about literally nothing. And once you accept that, I think your ability to be open-minded about things will give you the ability to retain information. You know, I think a lot of people lack education because they refuse to listen to people. Like, picture it this way. If you hate someone so much that you refuse to listen to them, then you can't be educated by them. You know what I mean? And that happens to a lot of people. Imagine how many new colors are out there. He was the first one to fight Israel, though, after Egypt. Hi, what up? Yeah, he could have some good ideas, but that doesn't mean that he didn't. What he did to the Iraqi people that were against him, that was messed up. I mean, like, he tortured people. You know, I wish we talked about this when I was, you know, way more educated on it. Because when I was doing my research, I was hitting people with all the info. You know what I mean, good theory to live by. Yep. How can I help myself when my brain is destroying what I knew and is rebuilding? What new and is rebuilding what I'm breaking down over and over. You got to keep rebuilding. You got to keep building it, man. You know. You got to take some time, get off the phone, maybe get in nature and really think. Give your brain an opportunity to get away from all the distractions, all the social media, all the TV, all the bullshit, and give your brain a time to think for a second. People dying in Gaza, no food, no water, but Israel kills children. Why are you not saying about genocide? Why am I not saying about it? Because for me personally, it's not my job, okay? No matter how correct you are, it's not my job, okay? It's someone else's job. Also, I have no control to fix it either, you know? So I can acknowledge that you're correct, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, we need to talk about this because this is bad going on. There's so many bad things going on. I mean, we have the most slaves on earth than we've ever had ever. If you learn anything about chocolate farms or cacao farms, you'd know that a lot of East Africa, a lot of them are literal child slave labor little villages that are growing cacao. So a lot of chocolate that's produced is made by slaves, you know. No one's saying shit about that. You know, I mean, no one gives a fuck about that. You know what I mean? So there's so many bad things going on Earth. You know what I mean? The Amazon rainforest is getting fucked. You know what I mean? Like, tribes are getting screwed over by loggers and government. And, you know, little villages, they're literally losing their land. No one's saying anything about that. You know what I mean? Or very little. So it's like, this is not my job to talk about it. I don't know if that's what you're saying, but yeah, definitely not. But I was right that my dad was in drugs. Reaching enlightenment is not a degree of knowledge. It is a state of openness. I think enlightenment is about always being open and always giving your brain the opportunity to be more enlightened. I think that's what enlightenment is. It's the ability to understand that you can always be enlightened by new things. Saddam Hussein was the dictator. I read about him. He didn't like West culture. He wants his country to be Islamic 100%. Well, it's funny because his son liked Western culture because his son indulged in that shit with all his nice cars and all of his nice gold and all of his nice shit. So his son definitely was into the Western culture, which I find hilarious, you know. But he didn't like his son too much. That's why I didn't give him any important roles except to coach the soccer team, which then they end up torturing fucking soccer players. How could you fuck up that? You know what I mean? They're like, oh, my son sucks. Well, you got to give him something. All right, just make him the coach of the soccer players. So soccer players end up getting tortured. You know what I mean? This guy's horrible. I think that's a primitive train of thought, though. We have technologies we never had in the history of humanity. I think the things we found out are grounded and solid with proof, no, not through theories. But that's my point, is that 2,000 years ago, we're going to have new technologies. You know what I mean? 2,000 years ago, we thought farming technology was the greatest discovery of all time. The fact that a human could plant a seed and grow something, I'm sure at the time was revolutionary. You know what I mean? Now we're like, of course, you know? Or a river or canal, the fact that you can trade shit and through like a boat. Like, that was probably revolutionary at the time. Like, we can never come up with something better. And this is how you know this is true for a fact. So you know when the Industrial Revolution came around and they were talking about patents and everyone was through their patenting era and everyone was patenting a bunch of shit? One of the most intelligent people that were part of it literally said this. This is how close-minded they were. They said, well, we've invented everything. There's not much more to invent. So we're done patenting because like we're just going to stop patenting things in general because we've invented everything. That's how close-minded they were. And this wasn't like a dumbass at the time. It was like one of the smarter people that was inventing the shit saying, oh, yes, we've reach peak human intelligence. So we always think that we're at peak human intelligence. The reality is we're not. We're not even close. We're probably stupid compared to, you know, alien intelligence. They probably think we're fucking ants. Let's be honest. Sometimes I'm the 0%. Bruh, yes, the technology we have now could be later be considered primitive. Exactly. Dude, are we wrong about everything 2,000 years ago? Like, what the fuck, dude? If we were wrong about everything, like we ain't building, or we ain't studying Euclidean geometry. Sorry, I didn't say that right. Aristotle principles, idea of atom, that's further developed. Yes, but we thought we knew everything about it. This is my point, and we didn't. I'm not saying that we weren't figuring out shit, but there was a better answer. You know what I mean? We have the better answer now than we did years ago, and that's a fact. Exactly, bro. It's expanded because it wasn't fully correct. Chances are it still isn't. Thank you. We're understanding. Thank God. Doesn't mean nobody was right to any degree ever. Yeah. How do I help myself when my brain is destroying? Okay, like I said, you got push-ups, outside, nature, less phone. Ren, maybe everything. I'm trolling. Also, path just because we still use it doesn't mean it's right. Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. There's probably things out there that we do right now that someone will invent within the next, 50 years that we look back at now and it's like, I can't believe we used to do that. How did no one ever think of that? You know what I mean? And I always said this. Like, people ask me because I always said I want to be like a billionaire or whatever. And they're like, okay, how are you going to become a billionaire? And I would say this every single time. I would say, I want to invent something that people go, God, I wish I invented that. Oh, why didn't I think of that? That's the thing I want to invent. I want to invent something that's so revolutionary, makes so much money, but it's so simple, like the fidget spinner. Like, why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean? That is one of my biggest dreams when it comes to like my innovation side. is one of the highest forms of dopamine I could get is my product to come out and people to look at it and be mad at themselves that they didn't think of it. That would be one of the highest forms of dopamine for me. What do you look for in a man? I'm straight. Dude, Pythagorean theorem is 4,000 years old and it still works and it's also right. Well, they're still learning more and more about it, okay? They're still learning more and more about the Pythagorean theorem. You know what I mean? Out of pod question, what do you think about, and there's probably a whole new system of math that we don't even understand as well, okay? Like, you have to understand, like, we could have changed the symbols of numbers. I'm just saying. Out of pocket question, what do you like? Oh, or another thing too, which is funny that I don't understand why we don't do this. So apparently some ancient languages to write like I, you know how we write E-Y-E, that's how you spell I. To describe an I, they would just write an I. And I was like, that's kind of smarter. Wouldn't that make more sense for language to like write the picture of the thing itself? I know it takes a lot more time now that you really think about it. It's like birds. Like now I have to draw a fucking bird, like go to bird. Now I have to draw going and bird. Like that'd be a little difficult. But I also find it interesting, you know? There's another thing that's like, there's no lemons. If we called lemons yellows, no one would think it's weird at all. We call oranges oranges, no one thinks it's weird. If we called lemons yellows, no one would think it's weird. No one would. The reason that now we're here, you know, and now it's called lemons, so now I'm just like, yeah, what the fuck is a yellow? That's weird as fuck. But I'm telling you right now, 300 years ago when they're making all that shit, I don't know when they made the name for an orange, but if they said, oh, that's an orange, and that thing over there is the same citrus breed, so we'll call those yellows, and then we'll call limes, guess what? Greens, you know? They don't really need to do that, but the yellows would have made perfect fucking sense. To call lemon yellows, that would have made perfect sense. No one would have questioned that. Everyone would have been like, that makes more sense. And if we were to do that and someone were to come in and be like, those shouldn't be called yellows. They should actually be called lemons. Everyone would be like, you're an idiot. What are you talking about? They're called oranges for a reason, so of course they're going to be called yellows. But we didn't do that. We called them lemons. So now people are like oranges and lemons. Why the fuck would someone call them orange and yellows? Even though orange and yellows makes way more sense. But we don't think that way because of the way that we did it. You know, that's a whole different topic, though. That kind of has nothing to do with anything. Out of pocket question. What do you think about Drake and Kenya? Drake, I don't care a fuck about their beef. I don't like Drake at all. I like Tupac, though. I actually have a crush on you. Hype it up. Please, bro. Hello. Hey, you guys. I mean, the way society changes is very weird. If you look at the three Abrahamic faiths, you'll see that child marriage is told normally in stories of Old and New Testament, yet now it's seen as insane. Well, I mean, yeah. Do you not see it as insane? Do you math debate? Okay. Well, yeah. Honestly, in the past, things were fucked up. I mean, for 99.99999% of human history, like 40-year-olds were marrying like 5-year-olds. You know what I mean? It's still happening to this day in some weird ass countries. So, you know, it's definitely history. Definitely isn't something that like makes us feel comfortable. I don't think. Yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, it's a little gross. Do a math debate pool seat? What? Yeah, he's not saying nobody has ever been right to any degree, but Pythagorean theorem has expanded upon also maths a little bit. Okay, why are you looking to? Okay, I don't know. Remember me, gang? I found you again. That's hieroglyphics you're talking about, bro. Reinvented hieroglyphics on YouTube Live. My bad. Oh, yeah. Yes. 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 Very true. Bro, if you want to talk about an eye, then maybe a million years later, people finna know what you're talking about. I'ma come from Blue Apple. Wait, okay. Never said that he was wrong, just that statement is a little reductive or vague. It's been done, dude. The Egyptians figured that out years ago. No, I know it's been done. I just didn't know that. I forgot what the name was for it. When I was 6th grade, I started learning Spanish and decided to invent my own optimized language that was super fast to write, and commodious words were the shortest and easiest. Interesting. When is your girl coming back? Haha. She'll be back. She low-key gotta come back on the stream. Do you believe processed food is bad? Yes. Processed food is very, very bad. The fun facts, modern Korean is most logical language out there because it's recently developed. I will tell you, bro. I'm down to learn more than just 1 or 2 languages. Of course, it's insane. I mean, even a couple hundred years ago, it was seen as normal age marriage and was legal. Hey, what's up? Eating tofu thoughts? Not a vibe at all. I think it's not good. I don't think it's a good source of protein. I think, when people go, oh, well, people in Japan eat it all the time and they look great. It's like, that's like the one thing that they eat that's probably not great in their diet. You got to take, for example, the fact that they are eating a lot of raw fish, they are eating a lot of rice, and most of their foods are not processed. So, even though tofu isn't great for you, it's not as harmful as the American standard diet, But if you're asking for protein, always going to be animal protein better. Hey, what's up? Why do you think all this diarrhea problem grabs having with food? I don't know. You should learn German? Ooh, maybe. I wish to learn French and Portuguese and Arabic. I know Spanish already and learning French. Yeah, it's good. Taylor Farm selling bad lettuce to everyone. I'm back. Yeah, I am not on the lettuce grind. I have not been on it for a little bit. I'm back. I think modern Hebrew is the newest language, but instead of making new words, they actually borrow most of their words from Arabic and other language. Tofu is tofu. German is like the last language I want to learn personally. Man, how is it already 11:30, guys? What the hell? Did I at least hit 14,050 subs or no? No, we did not. We're 8 away. Whew, man, my lower back is killing me. Also, you all should go check out my new post today. It's Ilya Taporia's edit, so enjoy UFC football edits. Go check out my channel out. You know what? I think I could watch it on my computer. Let's watch it. I think I can. Bruh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I know exactly what's going on with this tripod. Okay, I'm gonna watch this Ilya Taporia edit. Oh, damn. Low-key, these edits are kind of fire, just from what I'm seeing.
I'll just kill you. And if you run,
okay, watch this Ilya Taporia edit. Oh, yeah. Low-key, these edits are kind of fire. Oh, wait, let me get my screen out of here.
I'll kill you again and again. I'll just kill you. If you ever want more again as a new curse.
Damn.
That too. Change your name and appearance.
Damn.
I'll kill you again and again.
Congratulations, you're moving to the next level. Your next opponent is him.
I'll just kill you. And if you ever want
Stuff.
more again as a new curse, I'll kill you then too. Change your name and appearance, and I'll still kill you again.
Interesting. Good stuff. I'm learning German right now. I want to learn Spanish. I know American, English, Russian, and little German. Oh, okay. Super glue tastes like, I don't know. No, do you, bro. Just me personally. I'm not interested in German. But German is definitely easier than French. French is not too hard, I think, but pronunciation for people is difficult. Only thing I know in French is je parle français. That's what I know. Later, take care, everyone. Hell yeah. I think learning German is not bad because Germany, that free public education or colleges. Hey, Jake, I'll try to make that other request. Hell yeah. Well, honestly, I feel like you have some pretty good editing skills, and there's no reason you shouldn't be able to make an edit of that guy, Vosgrown. And I also think you're going to get a hell of views if you make an edit of him, because he's just an interesting guy to edit. I don't know. Frederick Vosgrown, or whatever. I said Armenian, not American. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. That's my fault. Oh, my bad. Dude, that's my processing disorder at its best, at its peak right there. You literally saw it. You know what I mean? I go A to the AN, American. You know what I mean? I didn't see the middle part because my brain, doesn't like to read that middle part. That's part of the processing disorder. Bro, that was not anything in French. Je peux parler français? It's not? Damn. How do you say put on a shirt in French? I don't know. American is not a language. True. But I do speak American. In the sense that, the way I talk. I was born in America. Oh, I once did that. Hey, man, I think I just got to keep grinding and pray about it. Hopefully, I'll get the subs and likes. Average 1.2K every single one. That's great, dude. Honestly, if you're averaging 1K views per short, beautiful. You can say it's a American English dialect. Yeah. Alrighty, man. I think I might end the stream, but you know what? I'm actually kind of proud of myself, especially for this, the end of the day vibes. Hi, meets un chemise, how you say put on a shirt in French. America has its own accent. That's American accent. Hell yeah. Believe it or not, Indians are not Jews, okay? French fries are people too. Wait, French fries and people are good? What? If you trying to say what I think you can say je parle François. Like, je parle François. What's your hottest take? I have so many hot takes. This is the thing. Like, if you actually want to know my hot take, you just have to listen to me for over an hour and you'll hear a hot take eventually. I mean, my opinions are so out there that I forget that people are hearing them for the first time. Because the truth is, if you're used to hearing me talk, then you're used to it. I mean, but a lot of people aren't. So they hear it and then they hear something else. They're like, holy fuck. Say your shortest one. Red meat is healthy. Sun does not cause skin cancer. Sunscreen is not good for you. A healthy 18-year-old does not need the COVID vaccine. Doing push-ups in your room is one of the most beneficial things you can do as a man. There's so many hot takes I could have, dude. I have like 10 trillion. The most views I've gotten is 50K. That's crazy. Good stuff. It means I speak French. Hell yeah. Do you love God? I believe in higher power, but the English came from England. Yep. All right, Jake. Good night, brother. Love you, bro. Well, good night. Sweet dreams, man. Hell yeah. Okay. I know many French. Okay, but I'm not expert. Say your shortest one. What was it you were trying to say in French, like in English? I don't know what it means in English. I don't. Je parle français. That's all I know. Je parle français. No, I'm not saying it right. Thanks in French. Are you in the Devil to Devil Discord server? No, but that is a specific channel I see in my stream, though. That's kind of crazy, though. What's crazy? What about zinc as sunscreen? That's the best sunscreen you can get is zinc-based sunscreen. Sunscreen's bad for you? Some are. Mineral sunscreen instead of chemical? Exactly. What's your faith? I don't really have. I'm just believing in higher power. Hell nah, dude. Sunscreen is Jolly Grill skincare. Holy Grail skincare. Or skin cancer. Or no, skin cancer, not skincare. Haha. How do you think I am? The cluster of should birthmarks are adorable. Okay. Punch wall for $30. No. Sure. Okay. But the mineral one creates that ugly white tint. No, it doesn't. Here's the thing, okay? And I'm not the best example of this because I used to use sunscreen, you know? I used to use sunscreen as a kid, and I got some skin damage from my shoulders. So it's a little difficult because I'm out here being like, oh, you know, sunscreen's bad for you. And, you know, people are like, what